enough selections of people that have the wind in their favor as opposed to the ball.
Even almost like tries to come back a little bit.
But he was born with the white privilege. I should be ashamed to be black. When I rap, like my grandparents did it, take a walk to the side. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know.
Cool.
Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know. Okay, I'm gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Back down, send up everybody nowadays, Hollywood. I was like that now. I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show them how to act. I'ma show you.
It's crazy. They could bring a set of crutches just in case.
Never know. Maybe that's for Trey.
Well, if they're for Trey, when they're like,
You'd be using them. Okay. Got me. Goal status is good.
Hey, this what they've been waiting for?
yeah, it's like,
And this will be the live monitor.
I used to break sounds like this, run like this, so I had to run like that, shine like this, in a matter of time I spent was locked up in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffed like little wrist.
Okay, so I'll show you this. There are two things that you'll need to kind of just keep an eye on every once in a while.
okay.
Make sure that says good, and make sure that says live.
Okay.
Shouldn't be any problem. And then if there's anything that comes up in the live chat down here, you can respond to it, or you can let me know. Or shoot, you can even do it. If it's appropriate,
We're
We're good to go.
Wait, let's see if it responds.
Oh, here it goes. Yeah. That's just that's a YouTube stream. I'm not sure the station is about 5 seconds behind or so. 10, 15 minutes. Cool. Good enough. Okay. Man, it's like that works. Here's my phone.
The best. Take this one.
Yeah, I'll get you 4. You want 4 rosters with height and weight and all that?
I might need that.
I'll take them just in case.
Especially with like some of these guys are going to be throwing in weird positions and
From bad player. Schedule from there.
skidoodle.
A skididdle. Here's scoreboard. Scoreboard. I'm gonna take some of this stuff up to the wall too. Pick up another if you want. Oh, the ball, yeah. Yes. Yeah, we'll pull it out for me.
Grazie.
For sure, that champ. Not taking the chicken. Oh, that's for sure.
Oh, water.
Aqua Vista. You need more water, by the way, about the pool. Yeah. Not fine. She was a liquor.
Wait, what?
Mike had his hand out for the other water. You were looking down.
I was like, fine. She's like, he said she wasn't looking. No, she wasn't ready. What? That works. That looks so weird. Microphone strapped to the tripod. We do what we do. Absolutely. Do what you gotta do. You know? Do what you do, what you do. You know what I'm saying? You. Whoop.
Spencer Flocker, son.
Put the flock on, put what? Flock on! Flock on!
Spence! Come on, boy! I love that guy. He's hilarious. You want to hold on the stats, or you need any, or? Good to go.
Keep it nearby in case things start falling.
Yeah.
So right here.
Okay. Teach me some vocal warm-ups. Need vocal warm-ups here. Let's see. Make sure the microphone. Here's a tip too. You can feel the microphone there.
Yeah.
You can feel the round part.
Yeah.
You want that pointing towards your mouth.
Yeah.
If it's not, then just kind of adjust it a little bit.
Okay.
So anyway.
So this is my favorite one. This is really warm up. Wah. Wah. You gotta do this 10 times.
Wah. 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 Wah.
Will you? 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 Will you wait? 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 Will you wait, Willie? 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 Will you wait, Willie Wonka? 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 Hear that?
Yeah, Jason.
W's are a good one.
What?
I also like these purple pelicans.
Purple pelicans. Purple pelicans. Purple pelicans. Purple pelicans.
M's are good ones. My mommy made me wash my M&M's. My mommy made me wash my M&M's. My mommy made me wash my M&M's. My mommy made me wash my M&M's.
My mommy made me wash my hands.
Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice.
Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight.
Mighty nice.
Mighty nice. Yeah. Too many words.
Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight,
Mighty nice. Yeah, one that's shorter.
Bilbo Baggins bought a bag of bread.
Bilbo Baggins bought a bag of bread. Bilbo Baggins bought a bag of bread.
Bilbo Baggins bought a bag of bread. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit.
I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit.
Yeah.
Shit. Remember, we're not on the air.
Yeah. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit.
I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. Ha!
One smart fellow, he felt smart. Two smart fellows, they felt smart. Three smart fellows, they all felt smart.
Sounds really hard. One smart fellow,
He felt smart.
two smart fellows,
They both felt smart. Three smart fellows,
they all felt smart.
I heard a fart in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a fart there. I didn't say fart, but yeah, never mind.
Let's get some of our live reads. That's funny, you can just kind of pull up your radio voice right out of your chest.
Your diaphragm.
From your diaphragm. You just kind of lift everything up. And then you can say things like, the starting lineups are brought to you by Barnes & Moore Group, financial advisors at Morgan Stanley Wealth Management.
Did you get one memorized by now?
For all of your investment needs, call the Barnes & Moore Group at... No, I don't know that. No, I don't think so. Let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Lamb Catholic Radio, KSTJLP 104.3 FM, Juan Diego Catholic Radio in Sioux Falls, and KSTJ 91.3 FM, Hartford, Madison, Mitchell.
If you're enjoying tonight's game, remember that Lamb Catholic Radio.
From the Baptist restaurant, where we have a make your own toast selection.
Come to the Baptist restaurant.
And you can smear it on the piece. What is that?
Oh, yeah.
From the Patties, it's the yeast you could do.
Do you want to read any of these, by the way?
I can.
You want to do any live reads?
Cool.
We can do Barnes & Moore Group.
The starting lineup is brought to you by the Barnes & Moore's Group, financial advisors at Morgan Stanley Wealth Management in Sioux Falls. For all your investment needs, call the Barnes & Moore Group at 605-338-6500, located at 300 Trop Place, Suite 503, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Product and service by Morgan Stanley Wealth.
There you go. Starters for tonight. All right. Just got this from Poppy about starters. Better late than ever, I guess. Yeah, okay. Literally just got him a half hour ago. Fajardo for Trey and Nick Billion for Karen. On offense.
Aaron.
Arson? Would be Nick Billion.
Caden.
Maybe Caden?
How do you spell it?
K-A-R-E-N.
That's gotta be Caden.
Is Caden out? Hey, I want to try something.
Starting out, it's brought to you by Barnes & Moore, financial advisor for Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. For all your investment needs, call the Barnes & Moore Group at 605-338.
Oh, yeah. Right cable.
650. Located here in Toronto Place, 508 Falls, South Dakota. Products and services by Morgan Stanley Wealth Management.
What's that? Good ass. You know what? I'll go ahead. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, the stream is working beautifully. It's beautiful. Just two things. What do we have for Inside O'Gorman?
Okay, the uniforms. Okay, good.
Okay. Okay. And let's see, how long are the interviews for the coaches? Okay. 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 I just realized I didn't print off a new script. Intro. Gosh, I can't talk. Sorry, I can't talk at the same time. It's terrible. I didn't print off a new script or anything, but that's all good. I just need to make sure we have the times down and all that. How long is Carol's? 4:17. Okay, good enough. I think that's all we got. Anyway, okay, it said, yeah. What's that? Yes, I got the highlights. Yep. Cool, yep. Does he mean Peyton? Okay, cool. Yeah, well, that makes sense because, Peyton doesn't, or Trey Jones doesn't even start on offense anyway, so Riley Caton does, so. But anyway, okay, good enough. I guess so. Dude, come on, Bob. Anyway, cool. Alright, I think that's all I have for you, man. Okay, very good. Yeah, and if you feel like firing me some scores, feel free. Okay, if you can't get it working, let me know and I'll log in and get it up. So, cool. All right, thanks, man. Bye.
And nothing wrong with that, but that's just they're missing the kids. Now let me make sure.
That's the thing with Lamb Catholic Radio too, is it's started really like old lady-ish, and now we're trying to bolster it up.
WBVM in the Tampa Bay area, good friends of mine. When I was at WAFM, Fort Myers, Naples, did work with them. They're doing true contemporary Christian music, and they do programming for youth.
Really?
They're saying, Skip, I know this isn't the Petra era, they're all old men now. And Striper doesn't wear spandex. And DC Talker are all old. When Toby turned 50, Toby texted me and goes, hey dude, you're really old now. I'm 50. Michael Tate used to be my workout buddy in Nashville back when I actually had a few abs.
Oh, really?
It's some more of your night, people. Come on. It's nighttime in paradise. School I covered, Castle High School, public school in the Evansville Metro, school about 2000. And the little area where the school was built when it was out in the country. The town's only got 2,500. The post office has about 36,000. So it's mostly outside the little township. And they're the Castle Night St. Cobblers. So it's nighttime in paradise.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Cool, so we need to hop off that?
Okay, yeah. This is also a video. They may have room for you if when they get here in a few minutes.
Okay.
Mine's really nice if they like. They got the new turf on there. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good to know. Cool. All right, thanks, man.
Okay.
These people,
Okay, sounds good. Thank you
we
very
have to
much.
stick in here.
Alright, yeah, we were just looking for the film people so they don't have to be up in the
You're
roof.
behind your team.
Was that Johnson girl?
I don't know, she was still on the roof. Well, right now they have them up there with me and Coach A.
Oh, there's actually a roof?
Up in the booth. Up there. So we're just got tight, so we're looking for somewhere else.
I'd say that
Awesome, Michael Rose. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Alex, nice to meet you.
Skip for Rapid.
Awesome, Michael.
Okay, let's see if we go to the Cobblers.
Oh,
And it's not Jerry Cobbler.
they're gonna cobble the Cobblers.
Tap that heel. Tap that heel. Hey, when I was in grade school, two old high schools, Fort Branch, Oakland City, and Consolidated, Gibson Sevens, the Titans. Oakland City was three other schools and big memorial tournaments, but they kept the old high school names for the grade school teams. The Fort Branch Twins and the Oakland City Acorns. And we played basketball good. Snap their twins, stop their nuts. This was in the 70s, kids.
Love it.
It was funny. Okay, what do you need? Live baby? Yeah, Tyler Live baby. That's
Gosh,
Caleb.
I'm sorry.
The other guy's Caleb. It's just a weird name. Is it
Chewy?
Okay, where were you at?
Caleb, number 3.
Number 3? Wow, okay.
Probably
No, that is Chewy.
Oh, Chewy, okay.
Yeah, Caleb Chewy, yeah.
Some Chewy.
Walton's Lyman. Instead of Caleb Walton's bladder, there's Caleb Walton's bladder. Coach Iverson, Zach, Assumption. Rammers plays a lot. Tate Rammers.
Okay, yeah.
Carter Deming is the key running back.
Right now.
Cotton. Dylan Pierce, let's say Holden Jackson. Will prove himself in the Sturgis City area on class 4 on the field. Brady Freeland, Duriter.
Durator? Not
Duriter,
Durator.
yeah, Duriter.
Duriter,
Like,
okay.
he's not going to get playing if you get him halfway there. Right, that's Isaiah Irregular. Yeah, he pronounces it with the O's.
Oh, really?
I think he does.
Regular.
Oh, wait a minute.
Argella?
Argella.
Argella, okay, there we go.
Bruce, Stinson, and Adrian, Elder, Cost, Pullers, Holder, Davis, Ladson, Lucy. Hey, Jensen. That's Jensen. That's how this is.
Goes by Jet, though.
Yeah, Jensen's going to be David, Knudsen, Whiteman, Dejan Rogers, Jaleel Snipes, Tina McKnight. I don't know if we got one other. He has schizophrenia. I don't know who was it with 200. I have. I've seen number. He's got 44. Lindenberg, Hunter Hanson, Iosin, looking over here.
Is it Iceland?
Eisler, yeah, that's Eisler. Finger, Dan, Garcia, Gabby, Molly Thompson. Neeson,
Kind of like the car.
Weather. John Claus, I have never pronounced his name.
Jack Claus.
And don't worry about the guys below. Chris Cole. Yeah, because what we do is we do the home games for both, and then we did one home game to make it so it was 4 regular season for the Cobblers, 9 for students, and then if they make the playoffs, the Cobblers the first game with it. This is politics. I like to be doing 6 on 4. And Douglas, he's the number 1 in the class.
Yeah, Harrisburg.
I didn't know the big schools would sit on here.
Harrisburg beat the world in the first half of their football.
Okay, now let's see on my
Yes.
nighttime in paradise here. Okay, Thomas. Line on the right. Tens.
By 10.
By.
10.
You put a Y. And then you spell the rules where it's irregular. 1. There we go. Landry.
Landry, yep.
Okay, Thompson. Sue. Sharon. Wolfgang. Lyle. Harrison. Beck. English.
Holland.
McNeely. McNeely. Alright, great. Garrett. Berkelson. Barton.
Yeah, it's Ray Seaman Bartman.
Ray Seaman.
Yeah, I haven't called him.
Washington is out to the west side of Evansville, Indiana, in Germany. Only thing about Evansville on German, Riverboat can't be on the roof. That's the only difference.
Oh, yeah?
Arndenburg has an HEP and the Hopscotch to the suburbs. In our county, Vancouver County has an HEP. We have Danish and Okay, Wilcox. Dogan? Go! Okay. Webbin?
It's Webbin, not Webbin. Eric is Eric. That's Webbin.
Webbin, yeah, because if it's German, the emphasis is on the Dutch. It wouldn't be Ruben. It's like Greeks and Romans. Sorry, guys.
We go with it.
Okay. This side of the page. Ackman, Tibbetts, Jones, Instock, Caton, Blount, Johnson.
That's both rounds, yeah.
Blount.
Both rounds.
No, almost Blount, but I have friends in Blount. Johnson, Struck, Schlingen. Yeah, they're Schlingen.
Yeah, exactly how it's pronounced. How exactly how it's spelled.
Reeves, Bauer, Norton, Pavelka. Easy.
It's Lemon Legacy.
Legacy.
Legacy like the book, right?
Jones. The law firm will be better than people.
By the way, number 3, Trey Jones, or ACL last week. I know, he's good too.
Kraus. Dietrich. Billion. Pals.
Same family, yeah.
Yep, same family. Pujado. Okay, there's true Spanish title. Pujado.
That's from Chile.
Yeah, because I used to live on the border in El Paso, and my parents would come up from Monterey and the from Albuquerque. Yeah, we don't speak English or Spanish. We speak Spanish. We all laughed. Of course, Bird and
Kowalczyk. He doesn't play much though.
Okay, Kowalczyk, yeah, that should be pretty easy.
Unless it's a blowout.
Okay, Bailey, Conco, Richard, Bone, Schwebach, Once again, it's like Kakadel, Kirkendall. Same spell. They were on football team in week. Manichek, of course, Sweets, Roush. Okay, you know
Your first name is Canis.
Canis, Canis,
I have never even seen it.
Okay. Rensler. Yeah.
Poppinga. Poppinga is where they go north of Sioux Falls.
Yeah, so you want to see really how they do it.
Yeah.
Super and
Shane Poppinga is the defense coordinator of his brother.
that's what I thought. I thought it was the brother. Yeah, pretty much that to be yeah, okay. There's a lot of office.
Aberdeen.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's like really
Yeah. Well, and the head coach is there.
Yeah,
older
yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Or uncle.
It was true his nephew out there.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. Hey, Coach. Hello. How's it going? Good. You guys over in here? Beautiful. Also, this one here. Yeah, a little bit. All right. Woo, yeah, it cooled off in here.
Yeah.
Let's kick that back up.
I want to wear these headphones so I can keep my ears warm.
there's the silver lining right there. Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter where I stand, there's always a breeze and it's always cold.
Make sure that's good. By the way, we need to hop off the MiFi. Because we've been using up too much data, apparently. So I need to disconnect mine.
I don't think mine's sent out.
Let me double check, but
Yeah, mine just,
Special
my phone
request
still
for
says Wi-Fi networks available.
Rick Ballard. Rick Ballard, man.
Alright. Looks like we got a guy not. Did you guys have a good trip out here?
Yeah.
Make some stops along the way?
Yeah, went and saw the sights. Saw the Badlands again. Wall drug again.
We stopped for Indian statue.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I might just set up shop.
Yeah, go for it.
I can get kicked out. It's fine.
Jordan Wrenchler. Not wrestling.
That's at 60% if you need.
Do you need that charger?
You need this
for
charger,
anything else?
Alex? You need.
No, I shouldn't.
You'll be good? Okay. Well then here, I'll pass this along to you, Aaron. Do your thing. If you need anything, snap on by.
Want me to come over each quarter for
If you could,
stats?
that'd be great. And I can write them down. You need headphones?
I have some.
I've got big ones. Oh, she should probably get a whole max, huh? Hey, another water. Kevin's a girl? Hey, Max. Max. Hey, how you doing, man? Good. Sorry, I kind of forgot about connecting and all that. We're here. We're live. We've been talking, but let's see. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, do you have anything that you need from me, or business as usual? Everything should be in place. You got everything for the highlights and all that. Cool. We'll just have to cross our fingers that nothing goes wrong with the computer. We'll be good to go. Cool. All right. Let's see. Our time is 5:10, so we'll go on about 6. Well, probably a little bit after 6:30 your time. Cool, man. All right. I'll just hit you up and give you a call. All right, see. Well, we should probably test our levels here.
Testing levels.
Here's the trick. We're gonna have wind.
We are gonna have wind. Wind like crazy.
We should make a cone.
A cone?
Yeah.
Let's check. Oh, where the Rapid City Central Cobblers.
22-mile-an-hour winds?
Like meantime, we'll slow down. 21.
Just slow down.
putting up the letter. All Disney.
Walt Dansby. Hey, that's just me. I'm a simple man.
I've been doing this thing lately in the car where I find myself narrating what I'm doing in sort of like a feminine southern accent.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't like where they got these constructions in there. I wouldn't do it this way. See, what I do is I do both lanes on one side, and you can have this going in opposite directions on the right side. Then I finish up on the left side, and then I move on to the right side.
I mean, I've narrated myself too to practice voices, but
Never been a sort of affinity southern accent.
never done Southern Belle, no.
It's not really southern belle. It's a man's voice, but it's sort of his family sounding voice.
Can you hear? Oh, sound?
Yeah.
It's going up and down?
Yeah, it's going up.
Okay.
Up and down, moving all around. One step back, one step right. If it looks like this, then we're doing it right.
Little bit of something, something, something. Little bit of something, something, something. Little bit of something. A little bit of something else in my hand. That could be misinterpreted wrong. That was not supposed to be vulgar. There we go. That'll get us some more noise from over there.
Over there,
Okay, what time we got?
we got 5:13.
15 minutes.
Time.
15 minutes. I'm freezing over here. Let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Land Catholic Radio, KSTJ LP, 104.3 FM, Montague Catholic Radio. Sioux Falls and KSTJ 91.3 FM, Hartford, Madison, Mitchell, and Yankton. If you're enjoying tonight's game, remember that Land Catholic Radio is 100% donor supported. It's through your generosity of this ministry that we can bring you these, I spelled that wrong, O'Gorman athletic events, but also our regular everyday local and national programming. So won't you please consider making a secure tax-deductible gift by going to landradio.com. Your support ensures that we remain on the air to continue to bring people to Christ to his people. You're listening to Land Catholic Radio Network, KSTJ-LP 104.3 FM and KSTJ 91.3 FM. Also online at landradio.com. Inside O'Gorman has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools. There's 6 elementary schools, junior high and high school, exemplifying gospel values, strong student achievement, and community service. Each and every school is dedicated to the mission of forming a community of faith and learning, of promoting the Catholic way of life through gospel values and academic excellence. Remember that song, Alex? Conform a community of faith and learning by promoting a Catholic way of life through gospel values and academic excellence. Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
So they were doing a skit at the, variety show?
Yeah.
And Mahoney's chewing up some students for having their cell phones on. and her phone goes off, and her ringtone was that song.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was a skit.
Oh.
It's not actual. Her actual thing.
Oh, that's funny though.
Fun.
Much fun. Wow.
I like how.
Do you want to read that one too? That's for Inside of One. Yeah, it's got the soul one. Sure.
Inside of One has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Catholic School, 6 elementary schools, junior high and high school, exemplify gospel values, strong student achievement, and community service. Each and every school is dedicated to the mission of forming and raising a faith and learning by promoting the Catholic way of life and gospel values and academic excellence. Excellent. And back over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Valentine.
The Cobblers have the Michigan helmets.
Yeah, very sharp, aren't they? I think those are brand new this year.
Yeah?
I haven't seen them before,
But they are the second best helmets used in this game. So cool! Like normally I like things being symmetrical, but I do like these helmets.
Yeah, I do. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
All right. So as the artist leader has it, Washington is number 1, O'Gorman is number 2, Roosevelt's number 3, Grand Valley 4, Stevens is 5, which is actually almost the inverse of what the power ranking is. Yeah, check this out. Watertown is 2 and 2, but they're ranked higher than O'Gorman, Roosevelt, and Brandon Valley, who are in the top 4. I mean, easily. I mean, if we're being honest. Well, I think that's good level there.
See, what I think we gotta examine though the rankings at the end of the season is like, don't point systems, won't they change based on how other teams' records play out?
Yes.
So.
Oh, Jordan Rentschler. That's Jordan Rentschler, by the way. Oh.
I looked him up.
Oh, sorry.
And I said his name out loud. And as soon as I said his name, you repeated the name.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it could be that you didn't recognize that I was identifying him as one of the guys sitting out. Trey's on crutches.
What are we going to do for starters?
Starters?
Yeah, starters. I usually do home offense. Home team's offense.
Okay, I can do away team defense.
You want to do O'Gorman's defense or Central's offense?
I'll do O'Gorman's defense.
Yeah.
Just so you're familiar with what you're doing.
Gosh, that should be it. Starting offense for the Cobblers at center, number 63, Joel Figure, a 5'11", 160-pound senior. At left guard, Ty Olson, a 5'11", 240 senior. At left tackle, Dylan Dunn, a 5'11", 210. Zach Lynn.
But he's going to say, somebody's going to be fast.
They might do.
Because Norton has been starting at safety. Kumano was playing corner.
I never got like updated starters from Bobby. That's from last week. Based on last week, Zach Norton was supposed to be starting for Bobby last week, but that might have changed. So I mean, but you're right. They do change.
Should I just say defensive back?
If you want, yeah, you could do. Actually, that'd be a good idea. Do all these just defensive backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call. Just because we don't know what's gonna happen with the uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So here's the big thing. You want to keep Zoom. So take a look at this. So say O'Gorman is going this way.
Yeah.
You want to keep O'Gorman's offense right here, and then you have defense right there, and then a little bit of field ahead of them.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So that you progress that way. So just always keep the driving team on the opposite side, or on the side of the screen, you know. So I mean, Rapid City Central is going this way, their offense is right here, and then you can see all the open ground ahead of them because we're assuming they're going to go forward, right? Yeah. So there's that.
So it's not like I can just zoom out and do half a field at a time.
Yeah, zoom it in.
Okay.
Give it a little space. I mean, you can really keep it in like that. I mean, I don't know what Brett does to be totally honest, but keep it right, in like that-ish. Just so you can kind of see what's going on a little bit.
Yeah, just so you know, if you say on air that I'm working with a camera, and if and my stepdad will just might make requests about the camera work.
Yeah, I won't bring it up then. Won't bring it up.
You would ask him what time kickoff was.
I'll do a bunch of it real quick.
Oh, about 10 minutes.
I should probably hit the rest before the trip.
What do you got for temp? What do you got for temperature outside?
55, but according to weather channel, it feels like 50 up there.
Tonight's Game Day show sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Day Card.
Yeah, go for it.
Testing. Testing.
One
Testing.
or the other often
Testing.
made a change there. And it could be both made a change. And it's also beautiful to meditate upon what would be the reason for that. It seems that Matthew is speaking to a broader audience there, trying to show this to all the Jews. And Luke has this intimacy between Jesus and the Father. And throughout his gospel, he emphasizes their prayer relationship. Jesus is praying constantly in Luke. So there is that difference. And then even John is really fascinating. When the episode is related in John, it's not directly narrated. It's John the Baptist telling us, I saw the heavens opened, ... You see? Now, the substance is the same in all of them, but there are those little tweaks in there that are really fascinating. It's also interesting that Mark only mentions he's baptized. It's like 1 or 2 verses. And then Matthew and Luke develop that further. So you take a skeptic. This is what's interesting to me. Bart Ehrman or any number of other skeptics would say Matthew and Luke might have invented those more detailed accounts to fill in Mark. What the church would say, she doesn't have an official position on it, but something more like, no, those are also part of the deposit of faith that was handed on. And if they add or tweak Jesus' words, it's in order to more deeply penetrate the mystery of what this baptism meant.
How does that strike you, Richard?
So, well, that makes sense, but then what I was getting at was the apparent contradiction in John the Baptist himself, that, you know, he either had the dialogue or witnessed, but then later, you know...
Oh, right, yes.
He's in prison and all of a sudden he doesn't know.
Yeah, no, that is an interesting one. No, that's a good one too. And I don't know if this answers your precise question, but I actually was just reading the Church Fathers on this the other day, interestingly enough. So it seems that he says he didn't know him either. But he was his cousin. Of course he knew him, right? Well, the Church Fathers have 2 different opinions on that. One is, they say perhaps he, as an adolescent, went out in the wilderness and never saw him. And on the other hand, maybe he was saying he didn't know him in the sense of he knew him as a guy, but not his deeper identity. So if you apply that to the type of contradiction you have in mind there, you are going to find tensions in the 4 different accounts, no doubt about it. So those amount to a substantial change. So many good examples of this. Like John has Jesus dying on a different day than he does in the Synoptics. The temple money changers being overturned. John has that at the beginning of Jesus' ministry. The Synoptics have it at the end. And so it asks the question over which one changed it. But each has a theological belief and point they want to convey to us through that.
And a common practice in the ancient world to tell history in a way that it made sense through the images and the dates and all of that. But this was not lying or making things up. This was trying to convey what had happened. Am I correct there?
That's right.
All right, we'll take a quick break. More when we come back. The historical truth of the Gospels with Dr. Matthew Ramage on Catholic Answers Live right after this.
Catholic Answers Live.
Have you visited Catholic.com lately? We've got a whole new look, better navigation than ever before, and lots of great new features to make your Catholic.com experience one that will have you coming back again and again. You'll find the answers to thousands of questions on all things Catholic, and our extensive library of audios, videos, tracts, articles, and more gets larger every day. When you need answers about the Catholic faith, turn to someone you can trust. Catholic.com, the most trusted destination in Catholic apologetics. That's Catholic.com.
We as Catholics need to stand strong, to be prepared to mount a daily defense, to respond to the many challenges that we as believers are presented with every day. Jimmy Akin is here to help. His innovative new book, A Daily Defense, takes up a different challenge for every day of the year, 366 in all, teaching you how you can defend the faith and give answers to Catholics and skeptics alike. And it's user-friendly, with challenges and answers indexed alphabetically, so finding the answers can be quick and easy. Order your copy of A Daily Defense today by calling 1-888-291-8000, visiting Catholic.com, or asking...
All right, Max, we're ready when you are.
All right, I'll start it up.
Wouldn't it be great to have a book to give to anyone to explain exactly why Catholics believe what we believe?
The following is a special presentation of the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
On the Lamb Catholic Radio Network, welcome to the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. With the Knights Game Day Show, here's your hosts, Michael Promis and Alex High.
And welcome West River, South Dakota, as the O'Gorman Knights are getting ready to take on the Rapid City Cobblers here at O'Hara Stadium, home of the South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rockers. But tonight we're going to have a matchup between the number 2 ranked O'Gorman Knights and the little bit lower ranked Rapid City Central Cobblers, who are coming off of a very good game, 46-0 defeat of Sturgis, and this team is really starting to build up and fall into its own. But welcome into the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. I'm Michael Promis, alongside Mr. Alex High today. He's stepping up into the booth yet again to join us here. And I think on a day like this, you've got to be extremely excited to not be outside on the sidelines.
Absolutely, Michael. It's currently 55 out here in Rapid City. The weather channel says it feels like 50. But the big thing, though, is going to be these 22-mile-an-hour winds we got going on right now. Weather report kind of seems like the winds will calm down a little bit, but the wind should be a factor throughout the entire game.
And I think weather in general will be a factor with the cold and the wind kind of mixed together, especially considering that back east in Sioux Falls, they had, I'm assuming, almost record temperatures. At the end of the high was 91. It was supposed to feel like over 100 degrees today, and we drove across the state, and it just dropped in the cold. I mean, O'Gorman's been practicing in much warmer weather.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They're going to have to be moving around on the sidelines, keeping those muscles warm. They're not used to this weather out here, and Yeah. I think we stopped, 2 times on the way over here, and like each time it was like at least a 10-degree drop.
Progressively colder, so that'll certainly make things very interesting between the 3-1 O'Gorman Knights, who are coming off of their latest win, homecoming last week against Sioux Falls Lincoln. Defeated the Patriots a 47-7 victory, which turned out to be pretty good in the end. A bit of a rough start to begin with, but they kind of slipped into their own towards the end of the game. And like I said, the Cobblers are 2-2 on the season and are coming off of a win against Sturgis, who is ranked, in the 11AA bracket, but still a good win nonetheless. So let's take a look at some of the other games that are going on throughout the state. And keep in mind that most of these are going to be Central Time. We're operating off of Mountain Time right now, but these are in Central Time. Tonight, Rapid City Stevens is at Sioux Falls, Washington. That game is kicking off about 5 o'clock Central, or has kicked off about 5 o'clock Central. Huron is at Yankton tonight, kickoff at 7 o'clock. The rest of these are 7 o'clock, by the way. Sioux Falls Lincoln at Watertown tonight. Number 4 Brookings at number 1 Pier. That's number 1 in 11AA. Harrisburg is at Douglas. Harrisburg was at Douglas last week. I've got a bit of a typo here, but Douglas is at Mitchell. Aberdeen Central is at Harrisburg. There we go. We got that kind of switched away there. We're going to have scores for you coming up throughout the game. And also, as far as O'Gorman stuff goes, tomorrow cross country for O'Gorman in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is the Roy Griak meet, and girls tennis, the Metro Tournament at McKinnon Park, starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow as well. That's a look at your scoreboard update. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we're going to talk about the rankings here in South Dakota, because what you see on the South Dakota High School Athletics Association's website is very different than the sportscaster polls that come out each week. We'll talk about that coming up here on the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
For over 50 years, Catholic Family Services has been helping people throughout the Diocese of Sioux Falls discover hope within themselves, their environment, and the power to grow. The counselors at Catholic Family Services are licensed caring professionals, experienced in assisting individuals and families seeking personal wellness and healthy relationships through individual, family, and group counseling. Catholic Family Services, offering a gift of hope with offices in Aberdeen, Brookings, Gettysburg, Pierre, Mitchell, Yankton, and Sioux Falls. Call 1-800-700-7867 for an appointment.
Market volatility has become a fact of life. What does this mean for your investments? Are you aware of and prepared for the risk volatility possesses to your portfolio? Should you consider changing your specific holdings or the mix of assets in your account? The Barnes DeMore Group Financial Advisors with Morgan Stanley can give you insights about these and other questions, and can also suggest strategies that may help better prepare you for the market's ups and downs. Thaddeus Barnes or Andrew DeMore Financial Advisors are in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota branch at 605-338-6500. That's at the Barnes DeMore Group at 605-338-6500. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City, South Dakota, gearing up for tonight's game between the O'Gorman Knights and the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Well, Mr. Howe, we're a few weeks into this 2017 football season. So far, so good for the 3-1 O'Gorman Knights. However, we've had enough time to kind of see what each team is made of. Now, there are two different brackets, if you will, as far as points and rankings in the state of South Dakota. Of course, we have the South Dakota High School Athletics Association, which tracks all this stuff and does a phenomenal job, by the way. A special shout out to them for helping coordinate all the sports throughout the state of South Dakota. But also the Sportscasters polls, which are voted on each week by sportscasters and coaches throughout the state of South Dakota. And at this point in the season, usually we see those things being a little different. Why, you might ask? Because, well, one is votes and the other is based on PowerPoints. The South Dakota High School Athletics Association uses PowerPoints based on how many wins you have, how many losses you have, how badly did you beat your opponents, and then how badly did your opponents lose or win. That's all kind of factored in. So as it stands right now, as far as South Dakota High School Athletics Association is concerned, O'Gorman is ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the state in 11 AAA behind Rapid City Stevens, Sioux Falls Washington, Watertown, Brandon Valley, Sioux Falls Roosevelt, and below them is Aberdeen Central, Rapid City Central, and Sioux Falls Lincoln. However, if we look at the sportscasters rankings, O'Gorman is number 2, just behind Washington. So which is right?
I think anybody who watched the President's Bowl is going to agree with the sportscasters poll. O'Gorman had Washington on the ropes, had a chance to beat him, but ultimately Washington won that game. So Washington number 1 in both polls, rightfully so. O'Gorman number 2 in the sportscaster poll. I think that's a fair assessment. The South Dakota Activities Association system, I think that will better reflect the overall standings at the end of the season.
Right.
But right now, yeah, it gets a little wonky because of various factors with who's played whom so far in the season, and so you kind of shrug your shoulders and laugh. But I think at this point in the game, you really want to look at that O'Gorman or the sportscasters poll.
Right.
O'Gorman is number 2
because the South Dakota High School Athletics Association's system is fairly intuitive. You know, there's a lot of factors and weighted averages and math that I forgot about since college. But sometimes the numbers don't always reflect what we actually saw in a game. And, I mean, I love the example they mentioned, President's Bowl, Washington. O'Gorman at that time, and to my knowledge, was the only team, and to my knowledge still today, is and was the only team to score against Washington's first-team defense. Which, I mean, says a lot about the O'Gorman team, and, you know, throwing in the numbers and all that and putting in the averages doesn't necessarily reflect things like that.
Yeah, and again, the scientific way that the state does it, that has a purpose and can help you evaluate things, especially when determining playoff seeding and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But I think it's good that we do have a more subjective system for ranking it that does take into account the way teams played.
Right.
And not necessarily what the score ended up being, you know, or the various records of your opponents and whatnot. So I think it's good that we have more than one system.
Yeah.
Especially if we ever end up into a situation where you've got people voting kind of biasly in the sportscasters poll. We do have a scientific thing to go back to at the end of the year.
We have the objective form and we have the subjective form, and that's usually a very good thing to kind of mesh together, and I think that's a great thing. Like you said, a great tool for both sides. But the point, I suppose, of this whole spiel is if you're confused, don't worry. Season's still young. We can still see a lot of football, and frankly, all the teams on this South Dakota High School Athletics Association's ranking. I mean, Stevens is doing very well. Washington, of course, is doing well, undefeated already, Watertown's doing very well. Brandon Valley, Roosevelt, O'Gorman, all the teams listed there are doing very well and deserve any spot really in there.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're considering these are high school kids,
right?
To stratify them like that, but. Nature of the beast. You got, especially in a male-dominated sport, like that's the way the male mind works. We like to rank things.
Absolutely. No, it's all good stuff. All right, we are going to step aside real quick, and when we come back, we're going to hear from our first coach of the night. That is Coach Iverson of Rapid City Central Cobblers. We'll get his take on the game coming up right here on the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
Crossroads Book and Music is a local source for Catholic gifts and supplies. From rosaries and medals to books and Bibles, Crossroads is here with materials to help individuals in their walk with Christ. Crossroads also features a large line of personalized gifts that are great for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, or any special occasion. Crossroads Book and Music, 41st Street and Grange Avenue in Sioux Falls.
Need repairs on gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors? Sioux Equipment Company can help. They serve Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company also offers services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment. Sioux Equipment Company at 605-334-1653 is a supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
Dr. Beecroft and First Class Dental Care are proud supporters of Lamb Catholic Radio. First Class Dental Care offers restorative, cosmetic, and preventative techniques and is open late to fit busy schedules. Their aviation-themed office works to provide first-class services. Their number is 271-9330 and can be found online at firstclassdentalcare.com. Thank you to Dr. Beecroft and First Class Dental Care for your support of Lamb Catholic Radio.
Game Day Show. I'm now joined by Rapid City Central football coach Eric Iverson. And coach, your team played a very good Brandon Valley team on the road last Friday night and lost 55-23. What did Brandon do so well that caused your team problems?
Well, it wasn't necessarily what they did. It was what we did to ourselves. We made multiple mistakes that kind of cost us some big plays. Like the first play of the game, we actually had a play that scored, but it was called back on a silly penalty. So it was. And then we did an onside kick that was returned by them for a
on second and third down, not putting us in third and long situations, staying on schedule. So we're happy to see that. We want that to continue, and it's something we need to establish in Rapid City this week.
And defensively, your first team defense didn't allow any points to Sioux Falls Lincoln. They pretty much totally shut down their running attack. What stood out to you about your defense's performance in that game?
Yeah, I mean, we're athletic, and, up front we're doing a good job in the run game predominantly most of the time. And, we're a little bit soft still, giving up some of those short passes where guys just aren't reacting as well. They know their reads, they know what they're supposed to do. Now it's just a matter of playing fast in the secondary.
Coach, your quarterback Isaac Struck, he's now had 4 starts this year, so he'll be 5. Just talk about his development from first week to now, and just how much he has improved already as a quarterback.
Yeah, improvement, confidence. I mean, whatever word you want to use to describe that. I mean, Isaac has it right now, and I mean, there's a lot of question marks coming into our season about the quarterback position. Were we going to take a big hit on it? Were we going to have to hide the quarterback position? We're going to have to do things differently, and Isaac's got a great command right now of what we're trying to do offensively. He does a great job each week, prepping for games, knowing what his reads are, and how to accomplish what he needs to do and getting the ball in the playmakers. And our goal this week is to spread it out even more. We feel like we've got other receivers that haven't got enough touches, and try to get those guys the ball out in space.
Coach, we play Rapid City Central on Friday night. We travel up there. They're 2-2 on the season. Did beat Lincoln earlier this year. Lost to Brandon last week. That team rushes the ball a lot. Looking at the stats, averaging 287 yards a game. Defensively, what do we need to do to stop their rushing game?
Their rush game is all based on misdirection, but they are physical. I mean, you watch them play. Last week against a Brandon team, which is a quality team, that they went out and moved the ball and marched the ball, and they had a couple big plays. First play of the game, they went for the home run shot and got it. They just got called back because of an illegal formation. So this is a team that I think can surprise you. I think it's a team that's going to be in the game for a long period of time, and especially if they start chunking first downs, they're going to hold the ball a long time, keeping our offense on the sideline, and it's something that we really want. I mean, we need our offense to have as many touches as possible, and you see kind of the explosiveness that we can have, and they're going to definitely try to limit that. How fast can our defense get off the field? How many touches can our offense get? I mean, that'll make the difference early in this football game.
And one other thing, Coach, you are making the trip up to Rapid City. Always want to start games out quick, but I mean, maybe this game even more. I mean, the longer maybe you let a team like Central hang around, the more confidence they get, especially being the home team. How important will it be for your boys to execute both offensively and defensively from the start?
Yeah, I mean, fast starts are something that we've talked about with our kids the last few weeks on, why we haven't been successful, whether that's Harrisburg or whether that was Washington or even Lincoln. That first series we still went 3 and out. Came back the second series, got a fast touchdown. But, we really want to establish that in the first quarter, the very first series, and try to maintain that as long as possible. That's tough to do, in high school football, but, we feel like if our kids ever get to that point, we're going to be a really nice team.
Thank you so much, Coach, popping in for your time, and good luck against Rapid City Central.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, Brett.
That was O'Gorman head coach Jason Pappas sitting down with Brett Byler, second year at O'Gorman and 3-1 on the season. This has been your Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. We have the kickoff of today's game between the O'Gorman Knights at Rapid City Central coming right up. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Your family is depending on you. Your family is looking to you to make sure they are safe, protected, and taken care of. Knights of Columbus Insurance offers the protection they need, whether it's term life or whole life, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, annuities, retirement planning, estate planning, or an insurance analysis. Please call Jason Lewers at 605-270-3463 or Heath Dickelman at 605-351-7978. Knights of Columbus Insurance.
Barnett Vision Clinic in Sioux Falls has a selection of designer frames in all styles, sizes, and colors. They accept most vision insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare. Barnett Vision Clinic is offering a same-day pay for patients without vision coverage. To schedule an appointment, their number is 605-335-7757 or barnettvisionclinic.com. Barnett Vision Clinic wishes all the high schools the best in this upcoming sports season.
Swings up the left side of the field, and he's got nothing to grass ahead of him. The 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown O'Gorman!
On the Lamb Catholic Radio Network, O'Gorman Knights football is on the air. Today's game is brought to you by
Catholic Family Services, Financial Benefits Company with John Fritsch, Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade, Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota, the Barnes DeMoore Group, Financial Advisors at Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, Mini Critters, Jardine Construction, Barnett Vision Clinic, First Premier Bank Card, Sioux Equipment Company, Crossroads, Hagen Chiropractic Clinic, Sioux Falls Catholic Schools, Fair Tax Incorporated, McGuire Iron, Big Rick Barbecue, Knights of Columbus Field Agents Heath Dickelman and Jason Lures, and First Class Dental Care.
Now, with all the exciting action of O'Gorman Knights football, here's Michael Promes and Alex High.
After the O'Gorman Knights homecoming game last Friday, we gave it a couple days, and on Tuesday we packed up the wagon, got Victor and Elmer, our horses, all ready, hooked it up to the wagon, and made our way across South Dakota to the western side of the state. Somehow landed in Rapid City, South Dakota, after stopping for gas only once. And tonight, we are here to bring you tonight's O'Gorman Knights football game between the 3-1 Knights and the 2-2 Rapid City Central Cobblers. Hey folks, Michael Promes here alongside Alex High. We are starting just a couple minutes early here. O'Gorman has elected to kick off to start tonight's game, and so Rapid City Central will come out here on defense. First run will gain about 4 yards. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Rapid City Central Cobblers. We'll start with the offense. And these are brought to you by the Barnes DeMoore Group, Financial Advisors at Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Center is number 63, Joel Feger. At left guard, number 56, Ty Olson. At left tackle, number 64, Dylan Dunn. Right guard, number 69, Ryan Adrian. At right tackle, number 54, Jacob Lindenberg. At tight end, number 87, Rob Weber. At wide receivers, Tate Remmers, Kyle Elder, that's 6 and 22 respectively. And at fullback, number 30, Jetson Olson. At tailback, number 4, Isaac Iverson. And number 11, Holden Jackson. This is a Wildcat offense, and if you have a keen ear, you'll recognize I did not mention a quarterback. That's because they don't officially have a quarterback, Mr. High. Instead, they have a tailback and a halfback, both of which can pass.
Yeah, they snapped the ball to halfback Holden Jackson on that last one, and he handed it off to Tate Remmers. Also, as the wide receiver, little jet sweep they had going there, and
so Isaac Iverson will take the snap and hands it off yet again to Holden Jackson. He swoops around right side on 3rd and 5, and that's going to bring up a 4th down situation after a gain of 0. The O'Gorman Knights defense, Mr. High, a little bit of a different look with the ACL injury to Trey Jones, but you have those right now.
Yeah, starting the defensive backfield, Zach Norton, number 13, number 23, Andrew Pujato, number 6, Bo Blount, number 21, Nick Billion. On the linebacking court, Aiden Thomas, number 50, number 32, Evan Witchery, number 4, John Binstock, and number 7, Penn Johnson. On the defensive line, Noah Reeves, number 11, number 44, Jack Niederinghaus, and number 72, Luke McNelly.
All right, and those starting lineups are again brought to you by Barnes & More Group, Mr. High.
The starting lineups are brought to you by the Barnes & More Group, financial advisors at Morgan Stanley Wealth Management in Sioux Falls. For all of your investment needs, call the Barnes & More Group at 605-338-6500, located at 300 Charapa Place, Suite 503, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Product and services by Morgan Stanley Wealth Management.
So Rapid City Central has already forfeited over the ball after a very short punt by Holden Jackson, who didn't quite get a hold of it. The ball ended up touching down at the Knights, the Knights 43-yard line. That's where Isaac Struck and the O'Gorman offense will take the field. We are at 10:36 on the clock here in the first quarter here on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network. You can also listen to us live online at lambradio.com or on our mobile app. You can also hop onto YouTube, look up our page, Lamb Radio, or The Lamb Radio, and you can watch the stream live there and hear us. It's the next best thing to a Catholic ESPN. So the Knights, there's a bit of a delay here. The officials are conferring a little bit, trying to figure out where the ball's going to be spotted officially. But Mr. High, what are a few things that the Knights need to work on, or need to focus on, I should say, against the Rapid City Central Cobblers tonight?
I think you got to start on the defensive line. We for like the first time in forever, actually outsize an opposing offensive line. Very small offensive line for the Cobblers, and they do a lot of running. So if we can win the battle at the defensive line, that could go a long ways.
That's right, and not only is this one of the smallest rosters in 11 AAA football here in the state of South Dakota, but it's also, like you said, stature-wise, one of the smallest teams as well. So what happened is that there was a penalty before the snap, an offsides penalty on Rapid City Central. They moved the ball 5 yards back to the 20-yard line, and Rapid City Central will re-kick. This time the punt is knocked away by the Knights and knocked out of bounds by Nick Billion at the Rapid City Central 4-yard line. So that is where the O'Gorman Knights will take over on offense. And Mr. High, that's not bad field position to start your first offensive drive.
Tell you what, if I'm the coach and you could pick anywhere to place the ball, this might be it. Well, they're at the 4 if you're really going to be specific on that when you go at the 1, but...
Right. Oh, safety would be nice, too.
Yeah.
So Isaac Struck will come out in shotgun. He's got Iman Legacy in the backfield, and Legacy will get the pitch. Nothing but Iman on his way into the end zone. Touchdown, O'Gorman. 10:33 on the clock here in the first quarter. The Knights are on the board quite early.
And there's a big old pancake block there. I didn't quite catch the number for the Knights there. It was... on the right side of the ball, so looked to be either Drake Schaefer or Jack Schnetter, but just took his man down.
Andrew Pujato is on to kick the PAT. Pujato has been very efficient so far for the Knights this season, both in PATs and field goals. Here's the snap, the place, the kick. It's up and good. The Knights take an early lead, 7-0 with 10:33 on the clock here in the first quarter. We didn't get a chance to really talk about this at the beginning of our broadcast, so let's bring it up right now. Injury-wise for the O'Gorman Knights last week against Sioux Falls Lincoln, 2 players went down. Carson Vitens, the offensive lineman and defensive lineman from time to time, and Trey Jones, the wide receiver and defensive back. Vitens suffered a deep bruise, a contusion, if you will, and he is back up and running. He was at practice on the following Monday, so he's good to go. But Trey Jones is a very different story. He suffered an ACL injury in his right knee, and he will most likely be done for the season. If not, he'll be back about state time.
Yeah, it's a really shame when it happens to such a young kid, you know, especially, what year is he?
He's a senior.
He's a senior, yeah. You hate to see that in a kid's senior year. But it's a dangerous game.
So, after the Knights touchdown, sorry, they're taking a little extra time. I apologize for the bit of a pause, but a bit of an extra time in these windy conditions. They're making sure everything's right, and just as I mentioned that, the ball is knocked over as the Knights get ready to kick on to the Rapid City Central Cobblers. We talked about this pregame, Mr. High. Not a nice night for football per se. It's very cold. We're looking at about, 50 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour wind?
Yeah. I think weather app I have on my phone says 22 miles an hour. Temperature feels like 48. So
So chilly conditions, a lot of sleeves, and maybe not so much for the O'Gorman Knights. The Knights, by the way, moving from my left to my right. Here is the second kickoff of the game, and that ball is going to take a bounce on the 2-yard line and then roll back into the end zone for a touchback. So the Cobblers will have their second crack at an offensive drive coming up here. And again, they run a wildcat offense. No quarterback is even listed on the roster. Instead, we've got a couple halfbacks, fullbacks, and tailbacks. And the halfback, that's Holden Jackson, number 11 on your roster, and number 4, the tailback Isaac Iverson, kind of share a quasi-quarterback relationship on this offense. Jackson and Iverson are both in shotgun. There's one receiver slightly to the left, but tight. Here's the direct snap, but this time it goes to Carter Deming. Deming shakes and bakes, dives up the middle, and he'll maybe pick up a yard or two. We'll see the official spot. It was a great tackle, by the way, defensively by the O'Gorman Knights, penetrating that offensive line.
Looks like they got him spotted at the 18. That'll be a loss of 2.
Loss of 2, yes, you are right. They'll bring up 2nd and 12 for Rapid City, who struggled in their first offensive series, only gaining about 5 net yards, and that was brought back after a offside penalty. Here's the snap again. Deming and Iverson in the backfield. The handoff, the snap is taken by Deming. Handoff to Iverson. And Iverson finds a gap on the sweep right. That'll be a nice gain of about 8-9 yards.
Yeah, that could be an option sort of play there, and good read there by the Central Cobblers to pick up a good yardage and bring up a short 3rd down.
That's right, and we could be watching something very interesting. Some of these option plays that they do run could almost look like a forward pass, but they are considered a pitch. What you have to be careful of on some of those little situations, though, is that if it is a forward pass, obviously it's going to be an incomplete pass. If it's going forward, if it falls backwards and they lose the ball, it's a fumble. And so we will probably see quite a bit of that with that Rapid City Central, tonight, just in the nature of their offense, which, by the way, is only their 2nd or 3rd year old.
Yeah, they were mentioning in that pregame interview how new the offense is, and kids are still getting used to it.
So 3rd down and 9 for Rapid City Central now.
They had a false start penalty, backed them up about 5 yards.
There we go. Here's the snap. It goes to Iverson. Iverson rolls out left, but he's met immediately in the backfield by a nice group of O'Gorman defenders. And that will be a tackle for a loss, pinning the Cobblers back on their own 16-yard line, and that will force them to punt.
Again, nice looking good on that defensive line. They had Luke McNally across from Rapid City Central's center, who's only 160 pounds. Luke McNally is listed at 290.
And that's the size difference we were talking about.
Yeah.
So back to punt this one away for the Cobblers is Holden Jackson, number 11. He's a 5'10", 160-pound senior. Wasn't able to get it off last time, but this time he will. The ball touches down on the Cobblers' 36-yard line, takes an O'Gorman bounce, and is stopped by the Cobblers on their own 33-yard line. And then that is where Isaac Struck and the O'Gorman Knights offense will get to work.
Yeah, the wind really playing a factor there on that punt.
And we should mention that the wind is going from the west to the east, obviously, so from my left to my right. So the O'Gorman Knights will have the wind to their backs for this first series and for the 3rd quarter as well. Struck comes out in shotgun, 2 receivers either side, takes a snap, rolls backwards, and then throws it over right side to Canyon Ballard. He picks it up on the flats, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Nice game there for the O'Gorman Knights, and a Knights 1st down. The Knights, by the way, in their away white jerseys, silver lettering, and blue pants this time. We had a bit of a bet going on before the game on what color the Knights' pants would be, because they have white, gray, or silver, and blue. But went with the Blues, Aberdeen Central, Rapid City Central, in their home reds, white pants, and Michigan-esque helmets with the kind of Wolverine style. I can't remember the exact name. Pass over to the left side, intended for Canyon. Bauer falls incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the O'Gorman Knights on the Rapid City Central 16-yard line. Isaac Struck comes out in shotgun. He's got Legacy in the backfield. Takes the snap, loses the ball, picks it up himself, but the defense is all over that, and that will be a sack. Actually, well, it was a run, so it would just be considered a loss of yards on a QB keeper.
Yeah, I think that's the danger of running a shotgun offense is you got the potential for bad snaps like that. And it's not easy to learn how to do a shotgun snap. It's not like doing a long snap on a punt, so it's a different process, a little harder. Got to have a lot more touch and accuracy on it.
So Isaac Struck will try this again after the loss of 2. He takes the snap, looks to pass again, throws it down to the right corner of the end zone. Max Tibbetts is there, and touchdown O'Gorman. Max Tibbetts with the over-the-shoulder catch puts on another one for the Knights early in the first quarter. 7:30 on the clock.
Yeah, we've seen him do that a couple times. He had, was it 2 touchdowns against Washington?
Yes.
So yeah, that's his play right there, his bread and butter. And are they bringing it back here?
It might be. Some linen on the field, and yes. The holding on the O'Gorman Knights brings them back 10 yards. So what would have been an O'Gorman Knights touchdown, they even put it on the scoreboard, will be taken away, and the ball's brought to the Rapid City Central 31. But going back to that play, I was watching practice last night while Mr. Byler was doing before Mr. Byler did the O'Gorman Knights soccer game, and Max Tibbetts ran that route. They probably ran that play 5 times while I was there. Here's the same play coming out, and this time it's a little bit ahead of Max Tibbetts, and he is not able to bring it in. That'll bring up 4th down for the Knights. 4th down and a country mile for lack of a better term.
Yeah, you can see how much they trust that play, going right back to it and throwing the ball to Tibbetts again. It's a great play for the Knights, and unfortunately a little too much onion on that one.
And I think Isaac Struck was trying to get ahead of the double coverage. Yeah, Max Tibbetts had on him. So the Knights will go for it. 4th down and 22. Ball on the Rapid City Central 30-yard line. Ball moved just a little bit. The referee blows his whistle and was going to put it back into place. Again, wind a factor in tonight's game. Struck comes out in shotgun. Legacy in the backfield. 2 receivers either side from the right hash. Puts a man in motion. Here's the fake. The handoff. No fake handoff to Nick Billing. And then the handoff backwards to Canyon Bauer. Bauer rolls up the left sideline. That should almost be enough for a first down. And then he's knocked out of bounds at about the, we'll say about the 15-yard line. Yeah, that's definitely a first down for the Knights.
Excellent design on the play. It looked like there was a little trouble there in the backfield, but Canyon Bauer with a nice little run to free himself up.
And that threw me off. I mean, O'Gorman Knights, the Knights offense runs the fake beautifully. I mean, they throw me off at least once a game. I mean, it's just such a seamless transition on their handoffs.
Yeah, you really got to be paying attention when you're calling the game or even just watching at home or watching it in the stadium.
So 1st and 10 for the Knights, ball officially on the 16-yard line. And correction, it looks like they're going to hand it over to the Rapid City Central Cobblers. The Knights lost it. The Knights lost the ball on about the 15-yard line. Canyon Bauer lost the ball, and Rapid City Central was able to pick it up. My apologies. Missed the call there. So Rapid City on their first play yields a couple of yards.
Yeah, I missed that too. It must be too cold for the Cobbler fans to cheer loudly when they get the ball back.
Yes, so my apologies. It was on the far side of the stadium on the field, and I just happened to miss it. So 2nd and 7 for the Cobblers on their own 18-yard line. Here's the snap, handoff up the middle, and maybe a gain of a yard or 2. This time the ball went to the tailback, number 4, Isaac Iverson.
21-yard line. Make it 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, it looks like the scoreboard was even confused on that one. It still says 1st and 8 at the 8.
Yeah, and looks like they even have the possession still with O'Gorman. Now they flipped it over there.
There we go.
Okay, so a little bit of confusion. I apologize here in Rapid City, but we should be all squared away now. Rapid City on 3rd and 6. 2-man in the backfield, Iverson and Jackson. Here's the snap. It goes to Jackson. Jackson dives up the middle. He'll fall down about the 25-yard line, and that will be very close to the first down, depending on where they spot it. And it looks like, no, they're going to actually put him back a couple yards. So Rapid City Central, again, looking at a 4th down situation.
If you're Rapid City Central, you might think about going here. They've been moving the ball pretty well. They're pretty good at getting about 3 yards, and that's about what they're going to need. It's about 2 yards they need, or 2 or 3 yards. I think
we're going to call it 4th and 3 for the Cobblers on their own 23-yard line, and the Cobblers need to talk things over a little bit before they proceed. 5 minutes, 31 seconds left here in the first quarter. The O'Gorman Knights are leading the Cobblers in Rapid City 7-0. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Jardine Construction is a general contractor of custom homes, remodeling, and commercial construction. They were founded in Humboldt, South Dakota. Jardine Construction works in close cooperation with project owners and customers when developing a plan for a building or home. Jardine Construction has lots available in Sioux Falls, Hartford, and Humboldt. John can be reached at 605-231-0830 and Tom at 605-261-6174.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City, South Dakota. O'Gorman Knights leading the Cobblers 7-0, and the Cobblers looked like they were going to punt, but then shifted it into an offensive formation and went for it on fourth down. Sweep out to the right side into the hands of Iverson. Will that be enough for a first down? Yes, the Cobblers pick up their first down of the game.
Yeah, I think it's...
Oh, my apologies.
I think it's always an interesting thing when you got your one of your backfield men, Holden Jackson, that's able to line up like he's going to punt because he is the punter.
Right.
And then he's able to run like that. So, especially in high school, you got players who aren't specialized like that.
1st and 10 for Rapid City Central on their own 29. Another shift offensively. Here's the snap. It goes to Holden Jackson. Sweeps around the right side. Good lead blocking, but the Knights were able to penetrate through the offensive line and get into the backfield. That'd be good for a loss of about 3 on the carry.
That was John Binstock that got back there, coming off his big win last week as homecoming king.
That's right. King Binstock, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody else we know used to be a homecoming king.
I don't know who that would be.
I think it might have been you, Michael.
Yeah, that did happen several years ago. But anyway, 2nd down and 12 for the Cobblers now on their own 26-yard line. Here's the snap and the direct snap to the halfback. That's Isaac Iverson. He finds a gap, breaks a couple tackles, makes his way all the way up to the 40-yard line before he's down, and that's good enough for another Cobblers first down.
Yeah, they're moving the ball well on the run right now. First series, the Knights had their number, but Rapid City is finding the holes and making the right observations and the right play calls.
And you look at Isaac Iverson, 6'1", 170-pound senior, one of the bigger players on the team playing halfback.
Yeah, he's bigger than their centers, only at 160 and 5'11".
1st and 10 for the Cobblers from their own 39 on the left hash. A shift offensively, so the Knights will adapt as well. We've got Iverson and Jackson in the backfield. Here's the snap. It goes to Jackson. Check that. Iverson, my apologies. Iverson dives up the middle trying to power it forward, and he'll pick up 2 yards.
Yeah, I think the shift's starting to give them a little trouble there. Is they weren't shifting as much in the first series, and now they're trying to follow what's going on with the shifts, and it's giving them a little trouble.
Ball on the 41-yard line. Ball on the 41. Central, you're looking at 2nd and 8 here. The Knights still running their 4-3 defense, but playing up a little bit, knowing the passing game might not come. Iverson and Jackson in the backfield. It's Iverson getting the direct snap. He rolls out right, looks to pass, fires the ball down the right sideline, and the ball is tipped away. But pass was intended for number 6, Tate Remmers.
Yeah, Cobblers really look like a team that's not used to passing on that play.
Well, and you look at their yardage. So they had 250, average about 250 yards per game for the beginning of the season, and their passing yards, we'll just say, is a little bit less than that. As the offense develops a little bit, they're going to learn to pass a little bit as they learn to adapt. But right now, this is just a very strong rushing team.
And the Knights weren't quite ready for it either on that play.
I think you're right. 3rd down and 8 for Rapid City Central. They take their stance. Here's the direct snap to Holden Jackson. He looks to pass again, drops back, fires the ball long downfield, right down to the center, but that pass is incomplete as well. Intended receiver was Kyle Elder on the pass and just put it ahead of him a little too far.
Yeah, Billy looked a step behind there, so again, they're setting up the run, using the run to set up the pass, and that should hopefully pay off for them later in the game if they can continue keeping the Knights focused on the run.
So Rapid City Central will opt to punt. Ball is placed on their own 41-yard line, and back to return for the O'Gorman Knights with the injured Trey Jones is Nick Billion and Canyon Bauer. Here's the snap of the punt. It touches down on the O'Gorman 35-yard line and rolls dead right there as it's picked up by a Cobbler. So that's where the O'Gorman Knights will go back to work offensively. Last play was ended up being a beautiful play by Canyon Bauer. Fumbled the ball about the 15-yard line, turned it over to Rapid City Central. A very confusing turn of events there, I think, for the officials, the scoreboard operator, and us. But the Knights were driving very well. Just happened to mess up a little bit.
Yeah, we assume it was a fumble.
Right.
We were a little confused on that one.
Could have really been anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
Process of elimination.
Flags thrown on the snap. Looks like might be a little bit of offsides on the Knights, and yes, it will go back 5 yards. By the way, if you haven't been here to O'Hara Stadium, it's out in Rapid City. Very cool stadium. It's home to the South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rockers. It's unique because one side is all bleachers. The other side is basically a parking lot facing the field, so you can sit in your warm car and watch the game.
Very unique setup and seems appropriate on a night like tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're used to that here in Rapid City, I think. Handoff to Iman Legacy. Dive up the middle. And that'll be a gain of about 3 yards. Makes it 2nd and 12 for the Knights from their own 32.
Legacy hoping to have a better game. Seemed to be struggling a little bit last week, and hopefully they can get him loose, and because he's got some speed.
Oh, absolutely. When he finds an open field. Here's the snap. Offset eye for Isaac Struck, but he's going to keep it and run up the middle. Nobody was open. He got a lot of pressure, but he makes his way all the way up to the Knights' 42-yard line. Be about 3 or 4 yards, short of that first down. But a nice job of Isaac Struck making something out of nothing.
Yeah, he read the defense well and saw he needed to get out of there, and he used his vision well to get up the field and came up a little slow, but he's still on the field, so he's not too badly hurt.
And that's the nature of these cold games.
I never liked playing in the cold.
No. 3rd and 3 for the Knights. Handoff to Legacy up the middle from the offset eye, but some great defensive play there by the Cobblers. They will hold the Knights to 4th down and a gain of only 1 yard.
Yeah, I think that was generous on the forward progress there. I maybe have him about a yard or so back, but...
And yeah, you're right. They're going to go ahead and give him 1 more extra yard on that forward progress to make it officially 4th and 1 from the Knights' 44-yard line. Knights talking a little bit in the huddle, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Isaac Struck comes out in shotgun. 3 men in the backfield, split receivers either side. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle to Evan Witry. He's going to dive forward, and yeah, there's the first down into Rapid City territory and down at the Cobblers' 45-yard line.
And that's the power running we saw last week from Evan Witry.
Using those strong legs, that low center of gravity to find a hole and maybe break a couple tackles in the process and really do some damage. So the Knights with a fresh set of downs on the Rapid City 45. Struck in shotgun. Same formation as last play, although now Struck wants to pass. Throws it down the right sideline, and Canyon Bauer picks it up with one hand.
Max Tibbetts,
excuse me. I forgot I missed the one. Max Tibbetts pulls it in with one hand, but there are flags thrown at the point of the play. Looks like that will be pass interference, and Max Tibbetts coming down with the one-handed catch.
Yeah, I think it was a one-handed catch because he only had one hand to catch it with. Right. I think that penalty will go against the Cobblers.
The ball, I should say Tibbetts was down at about the 8-yard line. And yes, pass interference on the Cobblers. That'll be half the distance to the goal. So the ball should be down at about the 4-yard line.
Well, they declined the penalty.
Oh, excuse me, my apologies. Get thrown off here a little bit. So yes, the Knights down at the Rapid City Cobblers' 8-yard line with a fresh set of downs. Here's the dive up the middle to Witry, and he'll pick up maybe a yard or two on that carry.
Looks like the Knights are kind of sticking to what they know works. Witry had a great game last week. Seen some more of that, and they know Tibbetts can run that sort of fade deep pass. And
honestly, the reason I said he was Canyon Bauer because he looked like Canyon Bauer. That guy was moving about as fast as Bauer moves down the sideline.
Yeah, he got great distance and really set himself up to make a nice play there.
2nd and goal for the Knights now from the Cobblers' 6-yard line. Dive up the middle. It might be just short of the touchdown. Evan Witry on the handoff again, and they're going to say it was down at the 1-yard line. Gain of 5 this time for Witry.
Wow, that spot I think if they moved it forward any bit forward, it would hit the line and we'd have a touchdown.
I think you're right. And on that note, the first quarter has ended. After one quarter of play, the O'Gorman Knights are leading the Cobblers 7-0. We'll step aside for 1 minute. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Support for programming on Lamb Catholic Radio is provided by Financial Benefits Company in Sioux Falls, helping individuals and small businesses plan for retirement. The Financial Benefits Company philosophy is to achieve a secure retirement for their clients. Their phone number is 605-334-8086 and on the web at fbcjf.com. Thank you to Financial Benefits Company for sponsoring Lamb Catholic Radio.
Big Rig Barbecue brings a Texas-style barbecue to South Dakota. They use a real wood smoker for all their meats every single day. Big Rig Barbecue serves sliced brisket, pulled pork, chicken, and ribs. They offer pre-orders for smaller events and gatherings and cater for large events including parties, meetings, and graduations. Big Rig Barbecue's new sit-down location is on the corner of 41st and Minnesota. Their website BigRigBBQ.net. Big Rig Barbecue is proud to support the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City, South Dakota. The O'Gorman Knights leading the Rapid City Cobblers 7-0 at the start of the second quarter, but a quick dive up the middle will give the Knights a larger lead, 13-0 now, as Andrew Pujato readies the PAT. The Knights had a rather demanding lead, I should say, as far as offensive progress goes in the first quarter over the Rapid City Cobblers, but a lot of that drawn back. We had a fumble, a turnover, a lot of confusing stuff, but the O'Gorman Knights overall were very solid offensively.
Absolutely. I think if their defense can perform the way they can, I think you'll see that the score differential there grow as we go on into the evening.
But it's been kind of a weird night as far as, some of the weird calls and some of the weird things going on. I attribute a lot of it to kind of the cold out there. It's not nice weather, and that really changes the way that teams play.
Yeah, and also kind of affects the broadcast team a little bit too. We had to scold our camera operator during the break for not moving the camera enough, so apologies to those of you watching on the stream.
But a good reminder that we are also on YouTube. Check out The Lamb Radio. If you throw that into the search bar, you should find our page. Go ahead and like and subscribe that, and check out our live feed as well. So the Knights will look to kick it off, but not before the wind blows the ball over yet again. Third time that's happened so far.
Yeah, Knights now going against the wind, so it'll be interesting to see where this Pavelko kick ends up. His first two touchbacks easily. The first one, he almost kicked it out of the stadium. Second was a little bit shorter, but
in a reminder, too, that he will be kicking into the wind. The Knights will be moving into the wind from my right to left. The wind, obviously, is moving from left to right, west to east. And that'll really affect the O'Gorman passing game, maybe even force the Knights to run almost exclusively. Wind blew the ball over yet again. So here comes Pavelko on the kick, as we have somebody holding now.
I believe that's Pujato, so kicker holding for a kicker there.
That's kind of ironic. Here is the kick. It's up, and it is short as it dives at about the 20-yard line. It's going to be fielded by number 34, Jeremy Weidman. He'll bring it up just a couple more yards as he kind of jukes backwards. And Rapid City Central will get the ball on the 27-yard line. Now, Central struggled a little bit offensively. They have a new offense. They're still adapting to it from what we gather. I should say new. It's their second year that they've been working it. A Wildcat offense, and there's been a lot of adjustments.
It's a different offense. Yeah. I think if you've never run it before, you are going to have some growing pains with it.
So Jackson and Iverson in the backfield either could take the snap. They're going to shift the entire line from left to right, and Iverson and Jackson will switch positions as well. Here's the direct snap to Jackson. He's going to roll right with the lead blocker, but he will go no further. In fact, he will lose about 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, great work on the defense there, getting through the line and breaking down the run. A swarm of Knights were in on that one.
So 2nd and We'll say 13 for the Cobblers now on their own 25. Ball on the right hash. There's one receiver out to the left, but tight, not even out to the left hash. And, of course, Jackson and Iverson in the backfield. A shift again. And check that. That is Jackson and Deming in the backfield. Deming. Here's the snap to Jackson, though. He stiff arms his way as he crosses the line of scrimmage, and he'll pick up maybe a yard or two on that carry. But the O'Gorman Knights defense is doing a great job of adapting to all these changes.
Yeah, I think they probably got chewed out of the sideline for not adapting better. So this drive, absolutely, we're getting through the line. They're getting through the line and breaking up the run before they can get out in the open field and start being shifty, because Cobblers can be shifty when they want to.
10:40 on the clock here in the second quarter. Knights up 14-0. 3rd and 11 for the Cobblers on their own 28-yard line. Another shift offensively for the Cobblers. Here's the snap, this time to Deming, but he's going to reverse into the hands of number 6, Tate Remmers. He sweeps around the right side, is pushed out of bounds at the 45. That'll be a Cobblers first down.
Trickery right there. I think that Knights weren't expecting that. It was a well-designed play, and the way they moved when the ball was snapped kind of disguised where the ball was going to go.
And a very quick kind of handoff, too. It was almost like a snap and handoff was almost simultaneously.
And it was a very sly handoff, too, almost like a Statue of Liberty type play.
Kind of a back pocket sort of handoff. Yeah. So 1st and 10 for the Cobblers on their own 45. Here's Deming and Iverson in the backfield now. Here's the shift from left to right, the line moving. Here's the snap and the reverse again, kind of the inverse of what we saw last time. Remmers gets the ball again as well, crosses the 50-yard line into the Knights' territory, and he's down at the 49. That'll be a gain of about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, the Knights were reading that one well. It's just they were a little slow in attacking the runner, so big gain, or decent-sized gain there for the Cobblers.
And a very interesting play call, too, by head coach Eric Iverson, to run kind of basically the same play, just flip-flopped.
Yeah, I think that's one thing they're going to do to help disguise what they're doing and let them know that they can run the same play twice and get good yardage on both plays.
2nd and 4 for the Cobblers. Here's the snap and the handoff. Ball was snapped to Carter Deming, and this time it looked like the same play. Fake handoff to Tate Remmers, but instead of handing it off, Carter Deming, kept it himself, rolled out right, picked up the first down, and gained about 5 yards.
Yeah, good blocking there, too, for Rapid City Central. Dylan Dunn there, left tackle, was out there in open space looking to make a play.
So some weird, shifty plays coming from Aberdeen Central so far.
Yeah, they're moving their left tackle all the way to the right, but looks like one of their linemen was set, and they moved in the shift, and they're going to...
And kind of what I'm gathering from...
No, it's going to be on the Knights, it looks like.
And my apologies, I didn't get the call, but it looks like it would be offsides of the O'Gorman Knights. Maybe just moving a little too much on the line, trying to follow the changes from Rapid City Central, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose they might have done something to make one of the Cobblers flinch, or...
Who knows?
Yeah,
interesting.
Or maybe they touched the ball as they were kind of trying to shift.
That's very possible. So nonetheless, it'll be 1st and 5 for the Cobblers. Ball on the 40-yard line. Here's the snap and the handoff. Swinging out right side is Remmers. Remmers will be taken down at about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like the Knights had a chance to make a shoestring tackle in the backfield, but didn't quite work out there for Aiden Thomas.
And that was a different formation, but the same play as that reverse sweep that we saw about 3 plays ago. They're really kind of running the same play off of different formations, and the vice versa, running different plays off of similar formations. Very interesting offense setup that they have.
Yeah, again, it goes all to that trickery they're trying to do with how they're moving players around.
And here is another shift from right to left, 2nd and 3rd for the Cobblers on the Knights' 37-yard line. Here's the snap to Remmers. Remmers sweeps out right side, picks up the first down. He's knocked out of bounds into the O'Gorman sideline, but he's picked up. He's okay. Looked like he hit down pretty hard.
Yeah, knocked hard out of bounds.
That'll be a fresh set of downs for the Rapid City Central Cobblers as the ball is placed down on the 31-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, good play by the Cobblers there. We almost should start saying when they don't shift before the play.
I know. I might just kind of leave that out here. We'll see. In the backfield for the Cobblers, we have Iverson and Jackson again. They switch positions, and the line moves from left to right, from the right hash. Here's the snap. It goes to Jackson. Jackson looks like he wants to pass. Throws it over to the left side and left hash, and it is brought down by number 22, Kyle Elder. The first completed pass play for the Rapid City Central Cobblers.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they've been setting up all game, is a play like that. Get everybody thinking they're going to do one of those reverse sweep type things, and then you had number 22 there. What'd you say his name was?
Kyle Elder.
Elder, yeah. Elder had plenty of space, and we had Knights trying to backtrack and try and get him.
17-yard gain on the pass play. 1st and 10 for the Cobblers on their own 15-yard line. Cobblers shift from left to right. Ball on the left hash. You got Jackson and Iverson in the backfield. Here's the snap. And the handoff to Remmers. Remmers will sweep left, maybe bake it back to the line of scrimmage. But he's met immediately by a couple linebackers. Yeah, and Penn Johnson, excuse me.
Yeah, 3 or 4 Knights were up there making the play. They read that play well. They need to start reading more plays well if they want to slow down this offense.
Yeah, which is really relying on a lot of trick plays, and hey, it's effective.
Yeah, it's working, and I think that's exactly why they run this offense, is it keeps the defense guessing.
2nd and 10 for the Cobblers on their own 15. On the Knights 15, my apologies. Here's the shift yet again. Iverson and Jackson in the backfield this time. And he's got Elder out on the right side. Here's the direct snap to Iverson. Iverson dives up the middle, picks up a healthy amount of yards, and is down at about the 4-yard line. That might even be enough for a first down.
Yeah, great play. And just went straight up the middle. I think the Knights were expecting something tricky, and they did something simple.
And yes, that will be good for a Rapid City Central first down. They're going to spot the ball on the 4-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Cobblers. 14-0, Knights up, 6:15 on the clock here in the second quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, Rapid City's had some long drives here, so wearing down the Knights defense, it'll be interesting to see how the offense does coming out cold.
Iverson and Deming in the backfield this time for the Cobblers. Here's the snap. It goes to Deming. Deming sweeps around the right side, breaks one tackle, falls down on the line, and touchdown, Rapid City Central Cobblers.
Yeah, fans below us honking their horns on the car. They gonna be a unique feel for the Knights coming into this stadium having car horns to deal with.
Yeah, having played on this field myself, that is something you have to get used to. It kind of throws you off a little bit. And the arid altitude, I suppose. So the Cobblers on the board for the first time tonight. They start their field goal on the left side, and they shift the line all the way into the middle. Kicking the field goal for the Rapid City Central Cobblers is Tate Remmers, number 6. Also plays some fullback and a little bit of wide receiver as well. Here's the snap. The kick is up and through the uprights and good for 1. 14-7, the O'Gorman Knights leading the Cobblers with 5:53 left in the second quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Dr. Beecroft and First Class Dental Care are proud supporters of Lamb Catholic Radio. First Class Dental Care offers restorative, cosmetic, and preventative techniques and is open late to fit busy schedules. Their aviation-themed office works to provide first-class services. Their number is 271-9330 and can be found online at firstclassdentalcare.com. Thank you to Dr. Beecroft and First Class Dental Care for your support of Lamb Catholic Radio.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium. Knights up 14-7 over the Cobblers here on this blustery September night here in Rapid City. Blustery is maybe an understatement. We're just lucky to have a heater up here in the booth. Here's the kickoff after the Rapid City Central touchdown. It's going to be picked up by Andrew Pujato. He'll juke and jive, make his way up to about the 27-yard line, but there's a flag back on the 18.
Yeah, that looks like they might come back and look like they might get Will Waschenberger for maybe a hold or a block in the back.
We'll see where they end up spotting the ball. Yeah, block in the back on Waschenberger. It should be from the spot of the foul as well. And you're saying that was on the 19, so the ball might be placed about the 9-yard line. We'll see how generous they're being, I suppose. And yes, indeed, the Knights will go to work at the 9-yard line. Move the ball over. There we go, onto the hash mark. 1st and 10 for Isaac Struck and the Knights crew. 2 receivers out to the right and 2 sucked in on the left side. But here's the pitch to Amon Legacy. He sweeps left. A couple dance moves and a spin later. He's brought down at the 16-yard line. Gain of about 7.
Yeah, good run there by Amon Legacy. Made the turn up the field, and a lot of times you'll see young backs, they keep going to the side, and they don't get anything. But
and that's the difference between last year Amon Legacy and this year Amon Legacy. He's kind of started to go north and south a little bit better.
Yeah, I think when you have that kind of speed, you think, oh, I can get around him. But
so 2nd and 3 for the Knights. Here's the snap. Isaac Struck loses the ball a little bit, but recovered. Rolls out right, looks to pass, fires it off, and the ball is caught. My apologies, I didn't see the number.
Looks like Canyon Bauer.
Canyon Bauer, yes it is. I didn't want to call him Max Tibbetts yet again. The ball down on the 26-yard line. That'll be good for a Knights first down.
Yeah, great play there by Isaac Struck. He looked like he was going to roll one way, then saw some trouble and rolled the other way and hits the check down receiver for a nice gain.
A fresh set of downs for the Knights. Again on the 26-yard line. Struck and shotgun, the Legacy in the backfield, but Struck looks to pass. Fires the ball into the left flats, and that's picked up by Canyon Bauer again. He'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. And again, an O'Gorman first down. Well, something interesting. So far, we've only seen Canyon Bauer and Max Tibbetts get catches in this game. In fact, the only 2 receivers to actually have the ball thrown in their direction.
Yeah, I think that won't last long. O'Gorman's got great depth at the wide receiver position, and you talk about doing things to switch it up and trick it up. I think the Knights can do that by spreading the ball around.
1st and 10 for OG. Here's the swing pass over the right side. Evan Witry picks it up, but he's hit hard as he's brought down about the 41-yard line. He's slow to get up. Looked like a little bit of helmet-to-helmet contact there. Never like to see any of that.
And it didn't look intentional.
No.
But yeah, the Cobblers read that one well. They were all over that swing pass. I think they were watching film and saw that the Knights do like that swing pass.
Oh, they do. Loss of 3 on the play. Bring up 2nd down and 13 for OG. Ball placed on the Knights' 41. Struck. 1 back. 2 receivers either side. The back is Witry. Here's the snap. Fake handoff to Witry. Struck fires down the right sideline. Max Tibbetts looks over his shoulder, and he got it. 1 player to beat, but he cannot do so. Tibbetts will be down at the 19-yard line, and that looks like a very familiar play.
Yeah, it's that deep pass to Max Tibbetts' side. I think Knights are recognizing that play works and works well. Also, Tibbetts is looking a little faster. I think week 1 he had that ankle injury that was kind of slowing him down, but that speed's starting to come back to him.
I'm sure there's some kind of medical thing. I think his sister's a nurse or something.
Yeah, his dad, might be a physician's assistant at the Orthopedic Institute. I don't know.
We'll talk to them. They know stuff about science. So Evan Witry gets the handoff here on 1st and 10 for OG from the 19-yard line, brings it up to the 14-yard line for a gain of 5. 3:25 left here in the second quarter. Knights up 14-7. 2 receivers either side for Struck, 1 back. It's Witry. Here's the snap, and Struck loses the ball a little bit. Can't recover. Keeps it to himself. Will dive forward, and I think he's going to lose about 2 yards this time. It looks like, again, just a poor snap.
Yeah, again, a cold ball. It's got to be hard to grip, and a lot of times linemen aren't using gloves, and even if you are using gloves, that ball might stick a little bit on that surface they got on the side of those gloves.
Yeah, which is really good if it's a little humidity in the air, which there's not a whole lot of, unfortunately, here tonight. It was 3rd down and about 3 for the Knights. Here's the snap, handoff to Witry. He's got room, jukes and jives, but he's brought down at the 2-yard line. He's cut underneath. There was some beautiful stiff arms there, though.
Yeah, the Cobblers brought the heat. They brought a blitz, and they were able to wait out the blitz and get around it, and Witry makes a nice run there to pick up the first down.
Ball will be placed on the 3-yard line, and the Knights will have 4 downs to try to score. Night falling here in Rapid City, South Dakota. As Isaac Struck comes out and shotgun with an offset eye. Here's the snap to Witry. Witry is stuffed immediately at the line. That'll be maybe a loss of 1.
Yeah, guy with the sticks is walking back. Got to get some push on the offensive line there. I think, talking about the line size and There's some bigger size on the defensive line for the Cobblers than there is on the offensive line. So,
and we have to mention they're very sizable linebackers too. And I mean, you look at size. Sometimes it says a lot, but at the same time, a little bit smaller, stockier build. Sometimes it packs a little bit more of a punch.
Yeah, if you can linebacker help coming up, it's going to help a lot.
Second and goal for OG on the 4. Pitch to Witchery. Sweeps left. He's tackled on the goal line, and they're going to say he was just a hair short. And that's the second touchdown that Evan Witchery has had taken away from him on that goal line.
Yeah, it was a good eye there though by the official. He was right there, and they were definitely short on that one. It was a good spot.
Timeout on O'Gorman. 1:27 left here in the second quarter. Knights up 14-7. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Sioux Equipment Company can fix, sell, and repair gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors. They also offer sales and services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment in Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company is located at 1310 East 39th Street in Sioux Falls, just off of East Benson Road. They can be reached at 605-334-1653.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Knights lead Rapid City Central 14-7 with blustery Knights. West River. Evan Witchery, beautiful sweep around the left side, brought him up just a hair, and I mean a hair shy of that goal line. So the Knights will have 2 downs to work with that. Here's the snap, handoff up the middle to John Binstock. He reaches forward, and he is
marking him short,
and that is very surprising to me. It looked like John Binstock was clearly in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised on that one. I wasn't watching as closely, but yeah, they are. That's a microscopic distance between the ball and the goal line. Knights had a good push up the center, but the ball's a little to the right and couldn't quite make the blocking work on the right side of the field as well.
So now it's 4th down and a rat tail distance for the Knights. Struck takes the snap, fakes the handoff, but a whistle blown.
Looks like it's going to be on the defense, though.
I guess they're going to call offside on the defense.
I don't know how you can move it any more forward.
Except for stopping the play dead, I suppose.
You know, elementary school ball, and we would just call it a touchdown.
Just call it a touchdown.
Yeah, if you were
out in the schoolyard.
Yeah,
That's what we learned our game. All right, so repeat 4th down and a couple hairs. Same formation. Here's the snap. Pitch to Witchery. Sweeps right. Cuts up the middle. Will he make it to the end zone? There's a rugby pile. And no! Rapid City Central holds the Knights at the 1-yard line.
Great goal line stand there for the Cobblers. But now their little smaller offensive line comes out. And let's see if O'Gorman's defense can make a push and get a safety here.
You know, that's a very real fear. It should be for Rapid City Central right now, because think of how many plays Central has been pushed backwards, a significant amount, and tackled in the backfield. I mean, at least half the plays have been for a loss.
And when they're doing all that trickery and moving around, they don't get the ball shooting up the middle quite as quickly, and they could give the Knights some time to get back there and knock them down.
And because you have a smaller offensive line, really prevents from getting those couple yards as a buffer.
Looks like they're bringing the house out.
Here's the snap. It goes backwards. I'm sorry, I lost the play. There was a big fake.
Yeah, they had,
and yeah, it looks like they brought in a different runner than they have been working with. It's Jetson Olsen, the fullback, 5'7", 205, stockier, shorter player, and really paid off for the junior. Just kind of tucked the ball, got the direct snap, dove up the middle, and picked up about, we'll say about 4 or 5 yards actually for the Cobblers. But it's not going to matter, because that is the buzzer, and it is halftime now here at O'Hara Stadium in Rapid City, South Dakota. And as we end the second quarter and start the half, 14-7 is the score. O'Gorman Knights up over Rapid City Central. Hang around, though. Keep it tuned right here, and we're going to have the Knights halftime show sponsored by your Knights of Columbus field agents. Jason Lewis and Heath Dickelman will break down what we saw in the first half of play, and we'll have our newest edition of Inside O'Gorman. We'll talk to Carol Nesbitt from OG and hear about those fancy new uniforms. That's on the way right here on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Hi, this is Mark Canzinius. In 1987, Bishop Paul Dudley and a group of business leaders started the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota to help raise, manage, and distribute God's gifts as determined by donors' intent. 28 years later, we continue to grow their vision and legacy of faith. Many choose the Catholic Community Foundation for their charitable giving because of our commitment to Catholic, moral, and social values. Learn more about how you can leave a legacy of faith through the Catholic Community Foundation at 605-988-3788 or visit cfesd.org.
McGuire Iron is a family-run operation that values all of their co-workers and customers. McGuire Iron and the Jones family pride themselves in taking their faith life into their business life. That's why they are proud to support the Sioux Falls Catholic school system in all their events and activities. McGuire Iron and the Jones family would like to wish all O'Gorman sports teams good luck this season.
So you're trying to decide what preschool or kindergarten is best for your child? At Sioux Falls Catholic Schools, you'll know you've brought them to the right place. They'll get lots of one-on-one attention, discover new things, and grow in their faith. Your child will get the support and encouragement they need with an education that stands apart from the rest. Our schools will help you make lifelong friendships and become part of our community. Because when you're here, you're home. You belong at Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
Your family is depending on you. Your family is looking to you to make sure they are safe, protected, and taken care of. Knights of Columbus Insurance offers the protection they need, whether it's term life or whole life, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, annuities, retirement planning, estate planning, or an insurance analysis. Please call Jason Lewers at 605-270-3463 or Heath Dickelman at 605-351-7978. Knights of Columbus Insurance.
From the Lamb Catholic Radio Network, welcome to the O'Gorman Knights Halftime Show. Brought to you by your Knights of Columbus field agents for Sioux Falls and the Southeast South Dakota area, Jason Lewers and Heath Dickelman. Now with the Knights Halftime Show, here's Michael Promas and Alex High.
Well, it's been an eventful, if not freezing night so far here in Rapid City, South Dakota. The Knights leading the Cobblers from Rapid City Central High School 14-7. We've seen a lot of weird stuff. Seen a lot of missed opportunities from O'Gorman. Seen a lot of strange offense from Rapid City Central in their very unorthodox but surprisingly effective Wildcat offense, which they're still kind of stepping into, but have really thrown the Knights for a bit of a whirl. Just a lot of stuff going on, but the Knights are starting to hold their own a little bit, but there's just something missing a little bit from the O'Gorman Knights. Michael Promas here alongside Alex High, and Mr. High, what are your thoughts?
I think a lot of what the second half is going to look like depends on the adjustments that the Poppingas can make. Head coach and assistant coach Shannon, who runs the defense, they need to make some adjustments. I think if you want to win the game and play the defensive game you're capable of, you're going to have to make some adjustments. The shifting around and the jet sweeps and the fake handoffs and the reverses, you have to guess on every play. You got to give your boys something to work with, and how do they take what they're seeing and make a judgment on what they're going to have to do to stop the play.
Right. It's turned to more of an instinctual type defense for the O'Gorman Knights because, like we mentioned earlier, Rapid City Central will take the same formation and run 5 different plays out of it. They'll take the same play and run that in 5 different looking formations, and so you never quite know exactly what they're pulling out. I mean, yeah, that's the nature of offensive play, but when they step up to the line, usually a defense can kind of read what's going on and adapt, but then all of a sudden Rapid City will shift their offensive line, change around a couple backs, put a receiver out there, and then you have to readapt, and so it becomes a very instinctual play, I think, so far for the Knights, defensively.
And then credit to the Rapid City blocking game. When you're shifting around like that, you gotta read the defense too and know who you're gonna block and who you're gonna leave for the next guy and who's got to pull and who's gonna do what. And so they're doing a really nice job of following their instincts and reading the defense. So it's not all about O'Gorman not being ready. It's them executing really well.
Absolutely, but what's really interesting is that Rapid City Central is not able to really get into the game until about second quarter, we'll say. In fact, if you look at the stats, the O'Gorman Knights have put up almost 250 yards in total offense so far, about 150 passing-ish, and about almost 100 for rushing as well. But Rapid City Central is still below 100 yards total offense, and you can attribute most of that to that very fantastic drive that led them to their first touchdown of the game. But that's also cumulative in counting the yards that they lost on their first 2 or 3 drives of the game.
Yeah, they started off a little slow. Knights really had their number, but then credit to the Central coaching staff there. They realized that O'Gorman can fall prey to this shifting around they're doing, and so I think the Cobblers coaching staff kind of stepped up and made some adjustments there within the first few drives, and now they're moving.
Right you are. By the way, let's take a moment to identify the station. You're listening to Lamb Catholic Radio, KSTJ LP 104.3 FM, Juan Diego Catholic Radio in Sioux Falls, and KSTJ 91.3 FM in Hartford, Madison, Mitchell, and Yankton. Also online at lambradio.com and on YouTube. Search The Lamb Radio, and be sure to like and subscribe as well if you want to follow all of the OG action throughout this football season. You're listening to the Knights Halftime Show, sponsored by your Knights of Columbus field agents, Jason Lures and Heath Dickelman. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we're going to get a little bit of information from O'Gorman's, I should say Sioux Falls Catholic Schools' own Carol Nesbitt on the O'Gorman uniforms, the decisions made there, and what they're all about, how this came to be. That's coming up here shortly on the Knights Halftime Show on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network. There are danger signs that indicate pressure and tension on delicate, sensitive nerves due to spinal misalignment, such as headaches, back pain, numbness or tingling in the arms or legs, and joint pain in general. Dr. Mark Hagen is located at 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagen with Pagan Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch. Call me at 361-OUCH.
Gabe? Your family is depending on you. Your family is looking to you to make sure they are safe, protected, and taken care of. Knights of Columbus Insurance offers the protection they need. Whether it's term life or whole life, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, annuities, retirement planning, estate planning, or an insurance analysis. Please call Jason Lures at 605-270-3463 or Heath Dickelman at 605-351-7978. Knights of Columbus Insurance.
Well, if you've been following O'Gorman at all this year, it's no secret that the Knights got some pretty killer-looking new uniforms, a complete head-to-toe remake. The helmet, the jerseys, the pants, the cleats kids still have to buy, obviously. But Heather Caro of the Lamb Catholic Radio got to sit down with Carol Nesbitt from the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools on the Season Day Morning Show and got to talk to her a little bit about these brand-new uniforms.
Let's talk about the new uniforms. For those who haven't seen them, right? They have new uniforms somebody kindly donated.
Yes, we had a very generous donation specifically for uniforms. So we got to make that clear because someone thought we were spending all this money from the high school. It was a donation given specifically for uniforms, which included 3 different jerseys, 3 different pants, and new helmets that are safer than our old helmets.
Wow.
They're, the new design, and it's so rare for O'Gorman to get new uniforms like this, and this was such a treat for the kids, and Jason Popiga, the head coach, said, I want to let the kids help design these.
Oh, really?
And so the kids had a lot of input, and so I want to make sure people understood that this donation wasn't just a donation to Sioux Falls Catholic Schools or O'Gorman. It was given specifically for uniforms and new helmets.
Yeah.
We want to keep our kids' heads as safe as we can, and these helmets will certainly help.
Right.
There was a lot of discussion. They looked into the possibility of chrome helmets. They were doing a takeoff on the Knight, like O'Gorman Knight.
Sure.
So they talked about having a gray uniform, which is sort of like the silver Knight, and a chrome helmet. But in the research, they found that chrome helmets were, number one, much more expensive, and number 2, very hard to maintain. They often chip and have other issues. And so they went with the white helmets, but with these stickers that have some silver and royal blue on them. So,
because that's been one of the controversies is the gray.
I know, and the kids are so excited. Okay, so let me just say that the old uniforms were not really, the players found that sometimes restrictive in the way that they moved and everything. These uniforms are much more user-friendly. I don't know, I'm not a football player.
Right.
But the kids can move a lot easier. They're a lot tighter. And the reason you want a tight jersey, from what I've been told, is that players on the opposite team, if they're trying to bring you down, like they're tackling you, they can't grab a hunk of your jersey because they're literally stuck to your body. So it's a lot harder for them to grab a jersey to bring you down when they're tackling. And the kids feel like they just move so much better. They probably breathe better. Yeah, so there's been a controversy about the color. There's a ton of people who love the new jersey, so we're getting lots of great feedback.
Yeah.
There are a few people who are not okay with the gray jersey, and it's funny because, they're like, our colors are blue and white, they're not gray. Well, I understand that. They're going again for the night, that idea. But, when we put yellow on any of our jerseys or anything, nobody complains, and yellow is not one of our colors.
Which is just,
everyone accepted yellow. I know.
I can't get over that.
So everybody accepted yellow, like that's a great accent color,
Yes.
So now we pull gray into it. They're like, oh, you can't use gray. Well,
anything we do, my daughter and I, everything is blue, white, and yellows.
Right. And 95% of everything we do is blue and white. But, we have gray sweatshirts with our royal, and that's what these are. They're gray jerseys with royal blue letters on them. Yeah. So we hope people like them. The kids are thrilled about them. It was a donation, so they don't need to worry about their tuition dollars or something paying for jerseys that they're happy about. But we'll always be blue and white, and now we'll have yellow accent and gray accent.
I love it.
And, again, people never complained about the yellow accent.
No. It just seems, to me, that's just how it is. Yeah. That's so funny.
So it's good. So they're nice.
Something new today.
Nice. And so for homecoming, we're the home team. So when we're the away team, then they wear the white. At Dakota Bowl, they wore the gray. So at homecoming on Saturday, they're going to wear the all royal blue.
Okay.
So they've always had white pants. Now they have royal pants, and they have royal blue pants and white. So they have 3 different jerseys, 3 different pants, and then they can intermix them all they want. Depending on if they're home or away team, because you have colors you're supposed to wear. But they'll be all royal on Saturday, and that will make people happy.
Oh, that'll make people so happy.
That was Heather Carroll with Carol Nesbitt from the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools on the Seize the Day morning show, and some really great information there about the new jerseys and kind of stuff you don't always hear. But that was brought to you by the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
Inside O'Gorman, as Michael just said, has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools. Their 6 elementary schools, junior high, and high school exemplify gospel values, strong student achievement, and community service. Each and every school is dedicated to the mission of forming a community of faith and learning by promoting a Catholic way of life through gospel values and academic excellence.
Thank you very much, Mr. High. We're going to step aside one more time here on the Knights Halftime Show, sponsored by your Knights of Columbus field agents, Jason Lewers and Heath Dickelman. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb.
So you're trying to decide what preschool or kindergarten is best for your child? At Sioux Falls Catholic Schools, you'll know you've brought them to the right place. They'll get lots of one-on-one attention, discover new things, and grow in their faith. Your child will get the support and encouragement they need with an education that stands apart from the rest. Our schools will help you make lifelong friendships and become part of our community. Because when you're here, you're home. You belong at Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
Your family is depending on you. Your family is looking to you to make sure they are safe, protected, and taken care of. Knights of Columbus Insurance offers the protection they need, whether it's term life or whole life, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, annuities, retirement planning, estate planning, or an insurance analysis. Please call Jason Lewers at 605-270-3463 or Heath Dickelman at 605-351-7978. Knights of Columbus Insurance.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City, South Dakota. This has been the Knights halftime show, sponsored by your Knights of Columbus field agents, Jason Lures and Heath Dickelman. Real quick scoreboard update for you. The game between the Washington Warriors and Rapid City Stevens went about how you would expect. Washington coming away with the win, but the score is what's surprising. Washington 29, Stevens 28. Very tight game there. I'm not sure how that worked with the first team, second team, but that was the score. Stevens giving Washington a run for their money.
Yeah, I think, Stevens came and they played really well, or Washington maybe decided they wanted to take a week off,
Who knows? Maybe it was just really hot. I don't know, but
it
sure
could be.
we'll find out.
Right now, I kind of wish it was hot here.
Absolutely. It's absolutely freezing here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Sub 50 degrees. The winds died down a little bit, though, and that's the nice part, the silver lining on this whole thing as we look forward to the second half. So on that note, Mr. High, what do the Knights need to focus on as they proceed into the second half with the 14-7 lead over Rapid City Central?
I think there are three things you focus on. Number one, defense. Number two, defense. And number three, can you guess? Defense.
Oh, okay. Whew, so close.
I think Rapid City the Central Cobblers are giving them a lot of trouble there on the shifting around with the offense, and let's see what adjustments they made and if it works. But first, we'll get to see this high-powered Knights offense.
Yeah, and I think offensively, the Knights just kind of need to, stay crisp, I think, a little bit. They had a couple mental mistakes, fumble early on a beautiful drive, and a beautiful run by Canyon Bauer, and a fake that really threw me for a whirl, for being totally honest. But I think if they can hammer out a couple of those offensively.
Yeah, or getting a favorable spot at the goal line.
Right.
They've had a little trouble there.
Absolutely.
There's one that they called him short. It was a good call. The other ones were close.
Right.
So these refs are reffing high school football. They're not reffing the NFL.
Absolutely, and everybody makes mistakes, including us, which you've been listening all game. Obviously, we've made a couple of those, but that's the joys
or
of
if you've been
sports.
Watching the stream.
I love the live stream, and a good reminder there, if you want to watch the stream, head over to lamradio.com. We'll have a link to our YouTube page. If you are on YouTube, look up The Lamb Radio. You can check out our page there. Watch live, watch past games, and be sure to like and comment and subscribe while you're there as well.
And we'll try not to forget to move the camera.
Absolutely. We will focus on that. And thank you for your feedback on Twitter, by the way. We got that taken care of rather quickly. We appreciate you listening.
So shout out to all 65 of you that are currently watching.
There we go. Wow, we can track that even.
Yeah.
Technology's fantastic, isn't it? The clock ticking down past 30 seconds, and the Knights will receive to start this third quarter. Knights will be moving from my left to my right. The wind is moving from west to east, so the Knights will be moving with the wind for the third quarter. And again, the wind has died down a little bit, not quite as much of a factor, but it is still very present.
Yeah, down to 16 miles per hour.
Down to 16, there you go. Not the 22 we were experiencing earlier. At 5 mph, I tell you what, really throw you off. But the Rapid City Central Cobblers ready to kick is number 86 on the Cobblers roster. That is Liam Porter. Kick it away and back to return for O'Gorman is Nick Billion and Iman Legacy. It's a short kick, and it will be quickly fielded by O'Gorman and dropped to the ground. That is player's name I don't call very often, number 10 from OG. No, it wouldn't be number 10, it'd be number 18, my apologies. Caden Jones coming down with the ball and bringing it at the 32. My apologies there. Those silver numbers are throwing me off in this dark.
Yeah, you got to get the binoculars out if you want to be able to read them.
These old eyes. Isaac Struck in shotgun, two receivers either side. He'll fake the handoff, keep it himself, brings the ball all the way up to the 41-yard line. That's the Knights' 41-yard line.
Well-designed play there. Got everybody thinking the ball was going to go either to the right or to the left. No one was expecting it to go up the middle except for Isaac Struck and the O'Gorman Knights offense.
And he kind of was able to get the linebackers to bite outside, and Struck just kind of slipped up there past the center. Second down and 3 for the Knights. Ball on their own 40. Here's the snap from Struck, looking to pass, looking left. Jukes out of the way, throws the ball down the right sideline, and that is just on the fingertips of Canyon Bauer, out of reach. Tibbetts was in the same area as well, but triple coverage on the two receivers.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to get to Canyon Bauer. It looked like that same play we've seen him run with Max Tibbetts, except Canyon Bauer was there too, so it brought more defenders into the area, and Tibbetts was getting double coverage on that route, so you bring Canyon Bauer, who you definitely want to have more than one guy on with his speed, so a lot of defenders there, and not enough O'Gorman Knight players, and just a little too hard on the throw there.
3rd and 3 now for OG in the middle of the field. Here's the snap and handoff up the middle. That goes to Iman Legacy, excuse me. He dives forward. He'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards. That'll be good enough for an O'Gorman first down.
Yeah, good work there by Iman Legacy. Not trying to be fancy, just trying to pick up the first down and extend the drive.
The ball will be spotted between the Knights 43 and Knights 44. But we'll have a fresh set of downs to work with. Struck comes out in shotgun. Legacy in the backfield. 2 receivers either side. Ball still spotted in the middle of the field. Here's the snap. Fake handoff to Legacy. Struck throws it over the middle. It's caught by Nick Billion. He's thrown down in Rapid City territory. Ball will be spotted at the 43-yard line. Nick Billion, for the first time, I should say, in this game, Isaac Struck has thrown it to a different receiver besides besides Kenyon Bauer and Max Tibbetts.
Yeah, again, I think that's, as I said earlier, that wasn't going to stay because Knights have so many different receivers they can hit.
So, fresh set of downs for OG yet again from the 43. Struck looks to pass again. Throws it over to Penn Johnson in the flats to the left. That is far over his head. Not a chance to catch it as it sails out of bounds.
That was a dangerous throw. They tried to go quick and catch the defense off guard, but a little too hard, and Penn Johnson was well guarded, but neither he or the defender could get the ball there.
By the way, great turnout here in Rapid City. The bleachers on the far side, the middle bleachers, are nearly full, and some great fans on either side of that, on the middle bleachers. And a lot of cars here parked towards the stadium, too, watching the game from the comfort of the heat. Isaac Struck looks to pass again. Nobody's open. He dives up the middle, keeps it himself, and he'll pick up about 7 yards on the QB keeper. I tell you what, Isaac Struck is such a versatile quarterback. He's got those long, gangly legs, so he can make up some ground when he has some space, but he also has developed his arm very nicely between last year and this year.
And he's also very good at reading.
Right.
And knowing what he needs to do with the ball.
You mean reading the field?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he can read books quite well in the classroom, but
yeah. I mean, that's usually a good thing, but 3rd down and 2 for the Knights now. Ball in the Rapid City Central 35-yard line. Dive up the middle by Witchery. Be good for about 2 yards, and yes, they'll give OG the first down.
Yeah, they faked it Iman Legacy there. Fooled me. I thought the Cobblers were going to tackle Legacy for a loss, but Legacy didn't have the ball.
And again, O'Gorman, very good at that.
Yes.
They're throwing off the guy who's looking at with the binoculars from up above. Something's going right. So 1st and 10 for OG from the Rapid City 33. Here's the snap. Struck looks to pass. Same route to Penn Johnson as we saw earlier. This time it's right on target. Penn Johnson comes down with it on the 25.
Yeah, they took the time to set something up, and Penn Johnson, it's been a while since he's seen a little offensive action, and he picks up a catch here. And
yeah, you're very right. I can't remember calling his number maybe once in the past 2 games.
Yeah, he got a good amount of looks in the first game on the opener up in Aberdeen, but getting some looks here now.
He's doing great things defensively.
Oh, yeah, he's playing well on defense, so I think they may be saving him.
There you go. 2nd and 2 for OG. Here's the handoff to Legacy right up the middle, and he's going to be pushed over. He was stood up. And that should be enough for an O'Gorman first down. We'll see where the official spot is, but Legacy did a great job of diving up the middle, just kind of pancaked the linebacker there.
Yeah, he burst through the line. He really used his speed there. It kind of looked like Adrian Peterson in his heyday, just bursting through the line and using his speed to plow through defenders.
You mean like rookie season 2 or 3 years in the league, Adrian Pearson, not New Orleans Saints, Adrian Pearson.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I mean.
Sorry.
By the heyday there, yeah.
1st and 10 for the Knights from the Cobblers 23. Struck in shotgun, 1 back, 2 receivers either side. Fake handoff to Legacy, rolls out right. He's faced by 2 defenders, and yes, Struck is sacked in the backfield, back on the 37-yard line. As you mentioned, a flag was thrown. If this is on OG, that could go back about 15 yards, and Struck getting up looking like he's not too happy about that.
I think you might get the defense. With how soon they threw that, I think you might get the defense for jumping, but we'll see what the call is here.
Oh,
it's on the offense.
The illegal shift on O'Gorman, so the sack will stand. So we're looking at 2nd down. I got to do math real quick. 2nd and 22 for the O'Gorman Knights, all the way back on the Cobblers' 35-ish yard line. Struck in shotgun, One back, 2 receivers tight on the left side, 2 on the right from the right hash. Uses a snap, kicks over to Canyon Bauer left side. He's got room ahead of him, but he's tackled by the feet at about the 20-yard line, and I'll leave it to Canyon Bauer to make up some ground. He's going to be spotted at just ahead of the original line of scrimmage of this set.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent play call with a down and distance like that. You expect a deep pass, but you hit Canyon Bauer with a short pass and give him some room to run, and he picks up a good chunk of yardage there.
So Knights now facing 3rd and 8 from the Cobblers 20 on the left hash. Struck it, takes the snap, looks right, quick little pass to Max Tibbetts right side. Tibbetts puts out the stiff arm, but he's going to be held to only about 4 yards, and that will be about 5 yards shy of that first down.
Yeah, tough luck there for the Knights with that illegal shift on the sack there, and so now looks like they're going to go for it, but I think you're in field goal range if you want to get the points.
And you have the wind at your back.
You do, so I
guess we'll see here.
It looks like they're going to try it.
Yes, Isaac Struck comes out in shotgun as always. Mon Legacy to his right, a wing back to the left, and 2 receivers to his right. Here's the snap. Struck puts it in the corner. It's Max Tibbetts over his left shoulder. Got it. Touchdown O'Gorman on 4th down.
Despite being held. The flag on the play, but that'll be pass interference or a defensive holding there.
I tell you what, Max Tibbetts has had it tough too over there.
His jersey was a little bit behind him there because being held up, but another great play by Max Tibbetts to get by his man, and that flag there I think is due to his speed. I think when you're a defender and you get beat like that, your tendency is to reach up and grab onto something. But
and as Carol Nesbitt actually talked about in our Inside O'Gorman segment at halftime, the jerseys aren't easy to grab because they're so tight and they've got that weird material that's kind of stretchy. And so when there's holding going on the O'Gorman side, when O'Gorman player is being held, you know it's a firm grasp. It's a player, even some shoulder pad or something. Here's the snap. Pujato puts it up, but the ball is blocked, incomplete. Andrew Pujato had enough space, but a nice jump from the defensive line blocked the pass, so blocked the kick. So the score remains 20-7. The O'Gorman Knights leading Rapid City Central Cobblers with 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Jardine Construction is a general contractor of custom homes, remodeling, and commercial construction. They were founded in Humboldt, South Dakota. Jardine Construction works in close cooperation with project owners and customers when developing a plan for a building or home. Jardine Construction has lots available in Sioux Falls, Hartford, and Humboldt. John can be reached at 605-231-0830 and Tom at 605-261-6174.
Welcome back to Rapid City. Knights up over the Cobblers 20-7. Coming off of the Max Tibbetts reception on 4th down and about 5. Here's the kick now from Connor Pavelko. It's going to be a little short touchdown at the 10-yard line, but it's got enough velocity to reach the end zone for the touchback.
And we got really excited about that last touchdown and forgot to move the camera yet again. So apologies to those of you watching on the stream.
We apologize. The first time camera conductor person operator. There we go here. So we do apologize, folks, but we will be sure to get that on for the rest of the game. So the ball on the 20 for the Rapid City Central Cobblers. In their Wildcat offense, in the backfield, we're looking at number 11, Jackson, number 4, Iverson. Here's the snap. It goes to Iverson. He dives up the middle. Oh, yes, Iverson, my apologies. Dives to the middle. He'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards. Now they're going to go ahead and give him one more for 5 yards. Bring up 2nd and 5 for the Cobblers. It'll be interesting to see what the Cobblers do differently here on offense. I mean, obviously we know the Knights like to make adjustments at halftime. They do it very well. The Cobblers, being a younger team, a little bit different offense. It'll be interesting to see what they do to mix up what's already kind of a mixed-up offense.
Yeah, it looks like they're going with an unbalanced line right now.
2 players in the backfield. It is Iverson and Jackson. Jackson looks to pass, fires it right side, and it is caught. Kyle Elder on the reception over on the 40-yard line. Only the 2nd pass play has been completed by Central. In fact, it's only the 4th pass play even attempted by the Cobblers, and earns them a fresh set of downs.
But again, that trickiness with doing all those runs and all of a sudden you throw in a pass there, that got the Knights yet again.
From the 40, right hash. Here are the Cobblers. Here's the snap to Jackson. He sweeps right, but rotates out with, Remmers. Remmers will sweep left on the handoff, but he's going to be down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And there's that reverse that we saw that was so effective in the second quarter, that really drove Rapid City Central the length of the field almost to get them a touchdown. But no dice this time.
Yeah, and again, you want to see what you did wrong and fix those mistakes when you're in the locker room and during halftime.
2nd down and 10 for Rapid City Central. Here's the snap, the direct snap to Iverson. He'll dive up the middle, finds a nice little hole, and he'll pick up about 8 yards this time.
But bringing up 4th and just a little bit, and they're moving the ball well enough to pick up this first down.
They're actually spotting him back just a little bit, so 4th down and 3. Here's the snap to Iverson. He sweeps right, and he is going to be held. And, they had it wrong down on the field. That was 3rd down.
Oh, even confused the Knights there. They brought out their offense.
Oh, there we go. Well, they just had the wrong down marked on the field. I thought that seemed a little short, but now it's 4th down and 3.
But again, a distance I think they can pick up, so they will go for it.
Here's Iverson and Jackson in the backfield. Direct snap goes to Jackson. Jackson will juke and jive up the middle past the 50. That'll be enough for a Cobbler's first down. Now into OG territory at the 49.
Yeah, again, good push there by the Cobbler's offensive line and strong running attack there to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and I tell you what makes this offense work. It's players like Holden Jackson. Obviously, he's kind of passing and running at the same time. But Isaac Iverson, and then also from Carter Deming, very fast players, very athletic, and you can just make stuff work.
Yeah, I think that's what you need with a Wildcat offense.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 for the Cobblers. Direct snap will go to Iverson. And Iverson's going to be stuffed immediately.
Yeah, I think he was tackled by maybe 6 O'Gorman Knights.
6, 7, being generous. And in fact, they're going to actually spot him up one, which I think is extremely generous. Because I think it probably should have been a loss of 1, but I'm up here and they're down there making the calls, so we're looking at 2nd and 9. Ball on the right hash, now on the OG 48. Again, Iverson and Jackson in the backfield. A tight end and a receiver up tight to the left. No, check that. They just shifted all the way over to the right. Here's the snap to Iverson and the reverse to Remmers. Remmers is going to be sacked immediately as he picks up the ball at about the Cobblers 49-ish. And it looks like they'll spot it back there.
Yeah, good work by the O'Gorman defense, getting past the line and getting into the backfield and pushing the ball back to Cobbler territory.
Be a loss of 3 this time in the play to bring up 3rd down and about 11 for the Cobblers. Kind of teetering there on the middle of the field, going back and forth. But O'Gorman's defense, really stepping up against all these shifts. It looks like they've started to play more of that instinctual defense, like you mentioned at half.
Yeah, they're getting things squared away and starting to read things better. And
2:55 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Here's the snap to Iverson. Drops back to pass, pops it over the middle, and that is into no man's land. I think his intended receiver was Kyle Elder, but he would have had no play at the ball. In fact, I would say most of the O'Gorman defenders wouldn't have had a play on the ball either. But a great arm by Jackson.
Yeah, he can throw the ball. It's just the matter of that touch you need to get it to where your receiver is going to be.
And again, sometimes the nature of a Wildcat offense.
Yeah.
Without a quarterback. A true quarterback, I should say. So 4th down and 11 for Central on their own 49, and it looks like they're going to punt, but we can't always trust that as of yet. And Jackson would be the punter if they don't call a fake. And yeah, it's a fake again. Jackson goes right, then cuts back left, cuts up the field onto 40, and that will be a first down. On 4th down, they fake the punt. Jackson goes about 15 yards from the backfield and picks up the first down for the Cobblers.
Yeah, when you got your punter way back setting up to punt and it's that far back, he had to run a long ways to pick up a first down. That was 11, 12 yards away from where the ball was spotted. So,
and I wouldn't say it's bad defense on OG. I think that was a great offensive choice by Holden Jackson. Everybody shifted over to the left, but he was supposed to go to the right. We've seen that before. The Knights were going right to block Jackson. Jackson saw that, cut back left, used some defenders, and picked up an extraordinary amount of yards. In fact, fresh set of downs, of course.
Great instinct there by the Cobblers running game to read the defense and respond accordingly.
Ball now on the 38, direct snap goes to Iverson. He dives up the middle, and that should be almost a first down. We'll see where they spot this, but a gain of at least 9. Just kind of cut through the O'Gorman defense, almost like they were expecting something else. And correction. They're going to give him a generous spot. Gain of 10 and a first down for the Cobblers.
They're moving the ball quite well now. I think O'Gorman got a little flustered there with a couple unexpected things happening.
The ball on the Knights' 27-yard line. Here's the direct snap to Iverson again. Cuts up the middle. This time, no dice. Well, maybe gain a yard.
Knights plowed through the line there quite well. I think that was a matter of size getting through there.
Clock ticking past 1:40 here at O'Hara Stadium.
It's interesting. The Cobblers are using a lot of unbalanced lines in this half. We'll see if that trend continues.
Maybe they're trying to fake O'Gorman off to suck into the strong side and maybe run it over to the weak side.
Or maybe
we'll see.
And
there's a legal shift, I'm assuming, there for Rapid City.
Maybe they're trying to do the unbalanced line to sort of say, hey, this is what you used to do,
Right, exactly.
O'Gorman for decades running out.
And excuse me, my apologies. They're calling that offsides or a false start on O'Gorman. And I am not, I'll be honest, I don't know why.
I didn't see it there, but, we're up here, they're down there. So
we did see it earlier. The same call was made on the shift and maybe just getting a little antsy up at the line. So nonetheless, they'll bring up second down and 3. Ball on the Knights' 21. Here's the snap. It goes to Iverson. He dives up the middle, and he'll maybe gain a yard.
Close to that first down. They might be, depending on the spot, they might be measuring or... And
they're kind of
not
looking
sure.
at it. They're giving them 2 yards. They're kind of pointing, kind of not. They should measure, and that they will. Yep. The ball is just right there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. We'll see here with the stretch.
Got my fancy pants binoculars right here, looking in. And the stick holder is in the way, and I can't see, but they're going to call that a first down for Rapid City Central. Ball is officially spotted on the Knights' 17-yard line on the left hash. Rapid City Central is knocking on the Knights' door. Here comes Iverson and Jackson in the backfield. Slightly to the right, strong side of the line is to the left. Knights showing a little bit of blitz, but the line is shifted from the left to the right. Here's the snap up the middle to Iverson. Iverson is going to have plenty of yards, finds his way into the end zone, loses the ball as he crosses the end zone, but they're saying touchdown Rapid City.
Cobbler fans giving some approving honks.
Canyon Bauer was just on the tail of Iverson that time, but couldn't quite catch him in time. Did a great job of making the strip as he was crossing the line into the end zone. It was just too little too late.
Yeah, great play there by the Cobblers. Knights brought the blitz there, but when you bring the blitz, you got to get them.
47 seconds left here in the third quarter. Cobblers will attempt a PAT.
That'll put them within 6 if they can make it.
On the PAT, number 6, Tate Remmers, wide receiver and running back. Here's the kick. It's got the distance, and it is good. 20-14, O'Gorman leads Rapid City Central at 47 seconds left in the third quarter. By the way, if you're enjoying tonight's game, remember that Lamb Catholic Radio is 100% donor supported. It's through your generosity of this ministry that we can bring you events like tonight's O'Gorman athletic game, football game I should say, but also a regular everyday local and national programming. So won't you please consider making a secure tax-deductible gift by going to lambradio.com. Your support ensures that we remain on the air and continue to bring people to Christ and Christ to his people. Rapid City Central showing that they really can drive and showing the ferocity and the complexity of their rushing game. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that when we were going into this game, I saw about 250 yards average for the first 4 games of the season. Didn't think much of it just because they have struggled a little bit this season. But these guys have a fantastic ground attack.
Yeah, I think the small number of yards, just 250, I think that's due to how long they can take on their drives with their running. Right. They're not getting 20-yard runs. They're getting 5, 6, sometimes even 3.
Right. And we should say small comparably because they just don't have very many passing yards on the season. And so when we see 250 rushing yards, it just seems small overall. Squib kick to OG is going to be down to the 32-yard line.
Again, kicking into that wind, you pretty much know it's going to be short, so why not squib it?
And ball was covered by number 28, John Kunkel. And a good heads-up play there. That's not the easiest thing to do, to get that squib kick and readjust.
And he very smartly went down. I think a lot of times get to run kickoffs are thinking, hey, maybe I'll run one, but smart play to get down and not worry about fumbling.
Unselfish play. Yes. So 1st and 10 for Isaac Struck and O'Gorman offense. Immediately Struck is rushed, and he is sacked about 5 yards back, 6-7 yards back, didn't even stand a chance on that play. End blitz on both sides.
And he did a nice job of covering up that football as he was being taken down. It was the type of play where you could get stripped, and you could see the Cobbler defenders were going for it.
And I would say that was the fault of one of the linemen, but I think the entire offensive line maybe had a bit of a failure there. So 2nd down and 15 for check that, 16 for the Knights. Struck looks to pass again. Ball thrown down the left hash marks, but that is overthrown and over the head of his intended receiver. That was Riley Caton on the route.
Yeah, it was great design play. Struck was just a little bit off, and Caton could have tried a little bit harder to catch the ball, but they're high school kids.
Yeah, and you have to remember Riley Caton's not quite as fast as your Canyon Bauer or Max Tibbs.
Yeah, I think if you're used to those speed with the receivers, you're...
Isaac Struck looks to pass again on 3rd and long. Nobody open, and he is rushed. Keeps it himself. Ducks and runs and will pick up maybe 4 or 5 yards as the buzzer sounds to end the 3rd quarter. The Knights will be looking at 4th and 14 when we come back. End of the 3rd quarter, Knights lead 20-14 here in Rapid City. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Barnett Vision Clinic in Sioux Falls has a selection of designer frames in all styles, sizes, and colors. They accept most vision insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare. Barnett Vision Clinic is offering a same-day pay for patients without vision coverage. To schedule an appointment, their number is 605-335-7757 or barnettvisionclinic.com. Barnett Vision Clinic wishes all the high schools the best in this upcoming sports season.
Your family is depending on you. Your family is looking to you to make sure they are safe, protected, and taken care of. Knights of Columbus Insurance offers the protection they need. Whether it's term life or whole life, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, annuities, retirement planning, estate planning, or an insurance analysis. Please call Jason Lewers at 605-270-3463 or Heath Dickelman at 605-351-7978. Knights of Columbus Insurance.
Well, Knights 3 and out this offensive drive, especially thanks to some tenacious defense from the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Beautiful kick, though, by the quarterback/punter Isaac Struck into the wind. However, it was just a little bit off as far as direction. Sailor bounds at the 50-yard line, so that's where Rapid City Central will go to work as we start the 4th quarter and the Knights lead 20-14.
Great blitz by the Cobblers on that last drive. Blitz basically every play, and it gave the Knights a lot of trouble.
So here come the Cobblers, Jackson and Iverson in the backfield, shifting their line as we've been seeing all night. I should probably stop bringing it up because it's pretty much happened every single play. Here's the dive up the middle from Isaac Iverson. And he'll pick up about 3 yards this time. By the way, O'Gorman will be going into the wind. The wind's dying down a little bit as the night progresses and as night has fallen. However, it's still going to be a factor offensively, especially with the pass game.
Yeah, you might see more running from the Knights, especially if they can stop the Cobblers and get the lead with their next offensive drive.
2nd and 7 for the Cobblers. Dive up the middle. This time it's Jackson. Jackson will be stood up at the 45-yard line, and that's about where they'll spot it. It'll be between the 44 and the 45 in OG territory.
3rd and manageable for the Cobblers, so Knights are going to have to be on their A game.
And really, we can't discount the 4th down either from the Cobblers, because twice have they faked the punt and picked up the 1st down tonight.
Exactly, and they're also, if they get 3 yards here, it'll be 4th and 1 or 2, and so that's doable for this Cobbler offense.
3rd and about 4 for the Cobblers. Shift of the line. Here's the snap to Iverson. He'll lose the ball, picks it up. I think he has it. Yes, he does have the ball. Lost it, bounced off the ground. He picked it back up, but he falls down about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Knights did a nice job of plunging into the backfield there and stopping that play before they can set up a 4th and short. Now they get 4th and about medium, 4th and 6.
And we'll call 6 or 7 somewhere in there. And again, you can't discount the Cobblers. In fact, they're not even going to try with the fake punts. They're just going to go for it on 4th. Here's the snap. This time it goes to Jackson. Fires the ball, and it is almost picked off. Almost picked off by, apologies, that was number 11 on the coverage, Noah Reeves, the sophomore.
Yeah, those numbers are hard to pick up with those silver letters. I was expecting the number I had read. I was confused because the numbers I was picking up was an offensive player. So
yeah, sometimes they throw off. Great looking jerseys, just in the light at night. Sometimes the silver is hard to see against the white. 1st and 10 for OG. Legacy gets the handoff, sweeps right,
flag in the backfield,
and crosses the 50 as Legacy's knocked out of bounds. And we'll see what that penalty is going to be. It might be holding on OG. And yes,
that is what they're signaling. Unfortunate play because there's a heck of a run by Iman Legacy. Earlier we talked about his skill in cutting up the field there this year, but that time he got on the outside and created some speed that way. But unfortunately, it's getting called back.
That'll be a 10-yard holding, and actually they brought the ball back 12 yards.
Spot foul, I think.
Oh, there we go. There, my apologies.
Whew, 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
It's the cold. I forgot to bring a jacket.
Yeah, well, when it's 90 degrees outside, you don't think to bring it.
Well, yeah, silly because it's like 45 here. Here's the snap and handoff on 1st and long. This time it's going to be the wide receiver sweep. Kenny Bauer going from right side of the field to the left to get the handoff, sweeps up the left sideline, and he'll pick up just a couple yards is all.
Yeah, a lot of effort for just a tiny gain there, but
I guess they'll give him about 4 or 5 yards, but they're still looking at 2nd down and about 15, 16 yards.
A country mile, as we like to say on the Lamb.
Struck in shotgun, 2 receivers either side, fires it down the right sideline, and it falls in and out of the hands of Max Tibbetts, who in his defense had to stop, turn around, and try to catch the ball, and it was a little bit low, maybe just a little bit underthrown by the quarterback.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to chalk that one up to the wind. When we showed up at the stadium today, School of Mines was out here practicing, and they were doing kicks into the wind, and they would fly quite nicely for a few yards and then hit the wind, and it would be like it was hitting a wall, and they'd drop straight down.
And these were collegiate punters, I'll remind you. So 3rd and about 16, 17 yards for the Knights. Struck, screen pass over to the right side to Kenyon Bauer. Bauer, though, tripped up, falls down on the 40, and that'll be 4th down for the Knights.
Yeah, tough break there with that holding penalty. It forced them to be in a long situation for the entire drive, basically. And so when you're trying to pass into this win, it's not an easy task.
So if you're head coach Jason Poppinga, what's going through your mind right now as the Knights are looking at 4th and 16, having to punt it back to the Cobblers?
I'm thinking we need our defense to step up because we can't keep trying to win this through the air. We got to have a lead, and we got to be able to run the clock out.
Struck on the running punt, but just like you mentioned earlier, Mr. High, the punt died almost immediately, went out of bounds at about the 48-yard line on the Rapid City side of the field, and that is where the Cobblers will take over.
Yeah, not ideal on the field position, but you got to play with the weather you get, and both teams have had time in the wind, and right now it's not working in the Knights' favor.
9:03 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Knights up 20-14. Thank you so much for making tonight's broadcast part of your Friday evening. We know you could be doing other things, but I'd say watching football is right up there, huh?
Or listening.
Or listening, that's right.
I feel like we get more listeners than we do watchers.
Possibly.
Shout out to all 81 of you that are watching currently.
On YouTube. Woo! Here's the snap and a handoff. Rapid City Central sweep over to the left side, and this time it was Jackson on the carry. He'll be good for about 3 yards.
And we appreciate you no matter how you take in O'Gorman Night Football, whether you just listen or if you watch too.
That's right. You can listen to us on our many radio stations. That's 104.3 FM, and we broadcast around the Sioux Falls area. O'Gorman games also online at lambradio.com, and the mobile app, which takes up a surprisingly low amount of data, depending on if you've got a good signal and all that. And
it's not battery sucker either.
Yes.
I've been surprised when I've been using it to listen to the LAM and how little battery I use up while I'm doing so.
Iverson gets the handoff again. This time he'll pick up about 3 more yards. Bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Cobblers, now in OG territory at the 46. The Cobblers, just a ground pound game, and it's very effective against this O'Gorman defense. They have found some responses, but I wouldn't say anything solid.
No, I think the Cobblers are, they could be on the verge of breaking a big one here.
In the backfield now is Jackson and Deming for the Cobblers. They shift the line from left to right, and Deming and Jackson switch as well. Direct snap goes to Deming. He dives up the middle. He'll pick up a couple yards, maybe just about 3, but he'll be only a yard shy of that 1st down on 4th.
And I don't think anyone thinks that the Cobblers were punted here. I think they absolutely will be going for it, especially with 7:20 left on the clock here in the 4th quarter. I think if I'm the Rapid City coach, I trust my guys, and we pick up the 1st down here.
Yeah, I don't know why he'd punt today. Since you haven't really done that all game, maybe once, but that didn't really work out for him. The Knights got the ball back on the 4-yard line after the block. Iverson and Jackson in the backfield. 4th and 1. Direct snap is going to be... I missed the direct snap. My apologies. Well, they might have a very quick play. It was directly snapped to the halfback, number 30, Jetson Olsen. He dives forward, and I think he's going to be a little short, but they're going to measure it.
They're going to measure it. That's not the first time they've done that quick little snap to Jetson Olsen. He's lining up behind the line and a little off to the side of the center. On every play, he's just kind of hiding back there, and he's a shorter player, so he does sneak in there and can...
Wow. Looking at it, it is about a hair. It is so close, folks. No! O'Gorman turns the ball over. Excuse me. Rapid City turns the ball over because of O'Gorman. Wow, that was about,
that was the most intense measurement I have ever witnessed. I've never seen where the refs are looking at it and they have no idea. You've got players on both sides of the field trying to convince them that it's going one way or the other, but wow.
That was about half the width of my pinky finger, and I've got small, dainty fingers for a 6-foot, 200-some-pound man. Here's the snap for OG. Isaac Struck keeps himself, dives up the middle, and he's got grass ahead of him as he moves into the flats and over to the right sideline. Breaks one tackle, but he's brought down horse collar style, up on the Rapid City Central 29-yard line.
That was a beautiful play. We were having so much fun watching it that the camera might have been a little bit behind on that play. Apologies to our YouTube audience, but what a play. O'Gorman executed that to perfection.
And it all is because you have such a great runner in Isaac Struck. And
a field general, too. He's got to read that. And
so 1st and 10 for OG on the Rapid City, 29. Here's the screen pass over to the left side. It goes to Nick Billion. He makes the catch, dives forward, but he's brought down hard by the linebacker. Be good for a gain of about 2 yards.
Yeah, we're seeing this O'Gorman offense spread the ball out between its receivers, and that's what we've been expecting to do all game, and haven't really done it now until the second half.
Couple substitutions here. Nick Billion will come out, and Canyon Bauer steps back in for the Knights. Oh, correction. My apologies. Canyon Bauer is in, but also in for the O'Gorman Knights is number 18, Caden Jones. Here's the snap. Fake handoff to Legacy. Struck keeps it himself. Dives up the middle. He'll be brought down about the 22, 23-ish yard line, and he'll be just shy of that 1st down. Third down and about 2 or 3 yards, if that.
It's manageable, though, for the Knights.
Ball in the 22, and we know that Rapid City Central has been very good at holding the Knights in this short yardage. Struck and shotgun, offside eye to his right. Here's the handoff to Legacy. Jukes and dives up the middle, and that should be enough for the first down. A gain of about 5 this time.
Another play where Legacy uses his speed as a power weapon and just bursts through the line and picks up the first down.
And that's something that they usually tell your running backs on those jet sweeps. Those jet dives up the middle. What am I trying to say? They tell you to hit the hole at full speed, and so you've got about 3 yards to get up to your maximum speed, which is not easy to do, but Legacy is so quick that he's able to make that work. 1st and 10 for OG. Struck with the offset eye, hands it off to Legacy again. This time, Legacy breaks a couple tackles and is thrown backwards. We'll see what he gets as far as forward motion, but he was still moving his feet. And no, they're going to pin him back about 5, 6, 7, almost 10 yards.
Yeah, I think when Legacy didn't go down right away, they pushed him back. He kind of kept running forward a little bit, so as he got pushed back, if he had just gone down, he would have gotten a little more in forward progress. But Legacy with a lot of heart in that run, and that actually ends up hurting them.
That'll be a loss of 8 officially, so 2nd and 18 for the Knights. Struck gets the snap, fires it over to the left corner-ish of the end zone. It's caught by Canyon Bauer. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, O'Gorman!
Great play by the Knights there to thread the needle there and get the touchdown.
Well, it was kind of a dodgy situation for OG after the failed run. Big-time failed run turned into a great opportunity to open up that pass game again. Canyon Bauer was wide open, too.
Again, he's got the speed to get open like that, and Struck's got the vision and the arm to get it to him.
And great accuracy, by the way, on that throw. Isaac Struck has been very, very accurate so far this game. And they practice that throw a lot, that over-the-shoulder catch on either side, and Struck can put it there every time. Pujada with the field goal PAT is up and good, nearly blocked, but the Knights increase the lead 27-14 with 4:21 left here in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb.
So you're trying to decide what preschool or kindergarten is best for your child? At Sioux Falls Catholic Schools, you'll know you've brought them to the right place. They'll get lots of one-on-one attention, discover new things, and grow in their faith. Your child will get the support and encouragement they need with an education that stands apart from the rest. Our schools will help you make lifelong friendships and become part of our community. Because when you're here, you're home. You belong at Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
Pray for us sinners.
Welcome back to Rapid City, South Dakota. O'Hara Field, home of the South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rockers. But tonight it is O'Gorman versus Rapid City Central, and the Knights with their latest touchdown are up 27-14 here in the fourth quarter, 4:21 on the clock. And a tremendous catch from Canyon Bauer, thrown by Isaac Struck.
And Schwabach had a nice catch on the hold on the extra point. It's going to go way over his head, but he pulls it down and sets it up for Andrew Pujada to knock it through.
Connor Pavelko puts up the field goal. Goodness sakes, kickoff. It's a squib kick, and it's going to be down about the 34-yard line. Actually, they're still moving the ball a little bit. Now they're going to put it at the 32. Why not? Sure. Ball on the right hash, and Rapid City Central will go to work. Not a lot of time to work with, considering that basically their whole offense is rushing.
And slow, methodical drives for them. They're not really built to
kind of
come from behind.
For that 2-minute offense kind of thing. In the backfield, it's Jackson and Iverson for Rapid City. And on that note, Jackson fires up the long ball down the right sideline, and it is caught. Brought down by Elder on the right sideline into O'Gorman territory, and I'm going to go ahead and go to this corner and put my foot in my mouth, because as we were just saying that they're going to bring out the rushing game, a beautiful pass play.
And a great catch by Elder.
Ball is spotted on the Knights' 42-yard line. Jackson in the backfield along with Deming. Here's the snap from Jackson. He looks to pass again. He tries to hit up Deming, but Penn Johnson does a great job of finding the coverage, putting his left hand out there and swatting it away.
Yeah, a great play by Penn Johnson. maybe almost had an interception, but comes up just a hair shy on that, getting the ball down. But hey, breaks up the pass and keeps Rapid City Central from moving the ball forward.
That'll be 2nd and 10 then for the Cobblers. This ball's still on the OG 42. It looks like it's going to be kind of a pass offense now. As Jackson comes out and shotgun, fakes the handoff. Oh no, and then hands it off to the wide receiver coming from right to left. That's Remmers. Sweeps around the outside, pushed out of bounds at the 35. A nice little gain there by the wide receiver.
Yeah, just when we think they're just going to throw the ball, they pull out a tricky little run like that.
I'm going to stop speculating because they've proven that you can't anticipate what they're going to do with this offense.
Credit to the Cobbler coaching staff that they keep you guessing.
And by the way, I just turned around and I'm startled because we've got Mr. Jeff Jones who does a lot of work here for the Lamb Catholic Radio. How'd you sneak in? I didn't hear you. Quiet. He's good that way, I guess.
Good. I'm glad we know him. All of a sudden there's a man standing behind him.
3rd and 3. Long pass from Jackson is way over the head of his intended receiver. Will bring up 4th down.
Yeah.
But give credit where credit's due. 3:42 on the clock. That's only about 30 seconds that Rapid City Central has shaved off, and they've made some substantial movement down the field.
Yeah. And good play calling.
A
little lighter on the pass there, and they've got a 1st down right now. So
here's 4th and 4 for Rapid City Central. Ball on the Knights' 35-yard line. Whistle is blown, and Rapid City Central wants to take a timeout. We will do so as well. 3:42 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Knights up 27-14. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Your family is depending on you. Your family is looking to you to make sure they are safe, protected, and taken care of. Knights of Columbus Insurance offers the protection they need. Whether it's term life or whole life, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, annuities, retirement planning, estate planning, or an insurance analysis. Please call Jason Lures at 605-270-3463 or Heath Dickelman at 605-351-7978. Knights of Columbus Insurance.
Welcome back to O'Hara Stadium here at Rapid City, South Dakota. 4th and 4. Here's the handoff to Deming, and he sweeps around the right side. That should be enough for a Rapid City 1st down on 4th. And yes, they're going to go ahead and give it to him. Again, just a clutch offensive plays on 4th down.
Very nice run there by the Cobblers, and the 1st down also stops the clock briefly. It's running now, but seeing just a few seconds there on the clock.
1st and 10 for the Cobblers. Ball on the Knights' 28-yard line. Jackson and Iverson in the backfield. Check that. Jackson and Demers in the backfield. Here's the snap. Handoff to Elder. He sweeps around the left side on the wide receiver sweep. He's going to be knocked down about the 32.
And that was the classic Statue of Liberty there. It was a couple of fake handoffs and a fake throw, and then the behind-the-back sneak handoff there.
Textbook. So 2nd down and 12 for Rapid City Central now. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Jackson's going to throw. Throws it down the left sideline. Ball is tipped and incomplete. Will bring up 3rd down and about 12 for Rapid City Central.
Great defense there. I think that was Zach Norton, a name we don't call too often, but he made a fantastic play on the ball and did it with the right timing to not get the pass interference call.
By the way, let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Lamb Catholic Radio, KSTJ-LP, 104.3 FM, Juan Diego Catholic Radio in Sioux Falls, and KSTJ 91.3 FM, Hartford, Madison, Mitchell, and Yankton, and online at lambradio.com. Here's the handoff up the middle. It goes to Deming. Deming will dive up the middle, and that should almost be enough for that 1st down. Again, it's going to come down to the spot. Everything is just very close, and he's going to be short. 4th and 1 is what the officials are giving him here on the OG 21-yard line.
Good play call, good execution by the Cobblers.
You got Deming and Jackson in the backfield, but watch out for Olsen in the backfield as well. He does not get a direct handoff, but instead it is Jackson that gets the snap. Did O'Gorman hold him? Jackson was able to find the hole, make a little bit of ground, but no, they're going to hand it back over to O'Gorman.
Good stop there on the Knights at 4th and short. They've been struggling with that all night, but this time they pull it off and turn the ball over.
And I just started noticing that there's some nice water streaks on the window here that I'm looking out of. Maybe a little precipitation here in Rapid City.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything that would affect the gameplay, but yeah, I see a few raindrops too.
And Mr. Jeff Jones back here said it was sprinkling on the way over, so something might be rolling in. It's supposed to. It just might be sooner than we expected. O'Gorman, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Amon Legacy. He breaks free and is eventually wrapped up by his ankles, but not before picking up a first down and reaching the Knights' own 37-yard line.
About half of that run, he was dragging players with him.
Which is impressive considering that Legacy is not really a big guy.
Yeah, I think that's the power of his legs. He's churning and churning and churning.
2-minute warning here at O'Hara Stadium. Knights up 27-14. And a fresh set of downs for the Knights. Struck in shotgun, offside to his right, but he's also got Witry to his left. Here's the snap, hand off to Legacy. Finds a little bit of room. Dives up the middle, he'll maybe pick up a yard or two.
Yeah, again, Legacy with the tenacious running style there. Lesser running back would have been stopped in the backfield.
And whistles blown on the field. Rapid City Central wants to talk things over. 1:31 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Knights up 27-14. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on the Lamb.
Barnett Vision Clinic in Sioux Falls has a selection of designer frames in all styles, sizes, and colors. They accept most vision insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare. Barnett Vision Clinic is offering a same-day pay for patients without vision coverage. To schedule an appointment, their number is 605-335-7757 or barnettvisionclinic.com. Barnett Vision Clinic wishes all the high schools the best in this upcoming sports season.
Left here in the 4th quarter. Knights up 27-14, and the Knights are still driving. 2nd and 8 for OG on their own 37-yard line. Here's him on Legacy. Breaks free. He's got room ahead of him. Crosses the 40 in Rapid City territory. Is eventually dragged down by the collar at the 34-yard line.
I think that running play, or that play call, is a tribute to how hard Legacy's been working, not only in this game, but throughout the season, to earn the right to be carrying the ball at this stage of the game, and he's taking the most of this opportunity.
Going to bring up 1st and 10 for OG on the Rapid City Central 34. Struck in shotgun, and the handoff over to the right side is Iman Legacy, and he's maybe going to lose a yard actually on that carry.
Yeah, again, I think he was trying to get to the outside, but maybe should have cut up. But more often than not, Legacy's been running really well tonight.
Whistles blow on the field, and Rapid City Central will burn another timeout here in the 4th quarter. We're going to keep it right here. And by the way, if you're enjoying tonight's game, remember that Lamb Catholic Radio is 100% donor supported. We ask that you prayerfully consider making a secure, tax-deductible gift by going to lambradio.com, making the donation there, and your gift ensures to continue that we can continue to bring you programming like tonight's O'Gorman game, but also the very best local and national Catholic radio shows 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Very short timeout, more or less just to stop the clock.
Yeah, and they're not keeping track of how many timeouts the Cobblers have taken on the scoreboard here in the stadium, but I'm fairly certain that was their 3rd timeout.
I think you're right. 2nd and 12 for OG, ball on the Cobblers 36. Struck in shotgun, offset eye to his right. Here's the handoff to Witry up the middle. He dives forward and is eventually put down on the 30-yard line. Gain of about 7.
Power run by Witry, gains a few yards, burns some clock, and Knights have a 6 yards according to the scoreboard to get here on 3rd down, and Knights can do it. It's just a matter of getting the right play call at the right time.
And if they can bring the clock down to 25, that'll be one more play, and then the game will, for all intents and purposes, be over since no timeouts are left with Rapid City. Here's the snap, handoff to Witry, tripped up, but he crosses the line of scrimmage, and O'Gorman will re-huddle as the clock will tick towards 0. By the way, coming up after tonight's game, we'll have your Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. The Knights are walking back to the sideline. The clock ticks down to 3, 2, and 1. And the O'Gorman Knights have defeated the Rapid City Central Cobblers. The score of 27-14 to move to 4-1 on the season. We unfortunately will not be able to hear from O'Gorman head coach Jason Popiga since we need one more person down the sideline. And it's a long trek up here, so we will step aside, and when we come back, we'll have your Knights Game Day Show, again, brought to you by Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. That's on the way right here on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Hi there, Ryan here from Mini Critters. Mini Critters has been a locally owned stop for all pets' needs to keep them happy and healthy. With all the pet food choices available, finding the right dog or cat food can be a challenge. But no worries. We can be reached at 605-361-0006 and let our staff help find the perfect food for any dog or cat. Mini Critters is food, treats, toys, and more. Mini Critters, your friends, your family.
Fairtex Inc. is a locally owned and operated tax and bookkeeping company serving Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. We prepare tax returns for individuals and businesses and provide a range of financial services for small businesses. Fairtex Inc. is located at 1727 South Cleveland Avenue and can be reached at 605-336-1669 and online at fairtexinc.com. Member NATP and NAEA.
Need repairs on gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors? Sioux Equipment Company can help. They serve Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company also offers services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment. Sioux Equipment Company at 605-334-1653 is a supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
A stiff neck that is very painful is a common condition called torticollis. It is caused by an underlying misalignment of the neck bones pinching the nerves that cause muscle spasms and pain. Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic in Sioux Falls treats this condition. Dr. Mark is located at 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch, call me at 361-OUCH.
Lamb Catholic Radio Network. Welcome to the O'Gorman Knights Locker Room Show, brought to you by Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. Now, back to the field with Michael Promus and Alex High.
And welcome into the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. The Knights coming away with the win over the Rapid City Central Cobblers, 27-14 victory, to move them to 4-1 on the season. We saw some good things. We saw some interesting things, to say the least, especially from the Cobblers. But I think what we learned most of all is that O'Gorman has a couple vulnerabilities on defense, and the Cobblers are much better than their record and maybe even reputation gives them credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. Great game by Rapid City Cobblers. I don't think you can hang your head too much if you're the Cobblers. I think they really gave it their all tonight, and you could see they're still getting used to this offense. But when that offense is going, it's going.
You're right. I mean, they seem to find momentum and really kind of mess with the defense a little bit with some of their shifts and the way they run their plays and the wildcat thing they have going on. It can be very confusing. A lot to try to keep up with. From a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, definitely a mental duel when the Cobblers were on offense.
Right, but a win's a win, and I think a lot of surprises throughout the state of South Dakota as well, just considering that Washington only beat Rapid City Stevens by 1 point tonight back in Sioux Falls, 29-28 win, for the Warriors, and O'Gorman allowing 2 touchdowns against Central tonight, 27-14. And it really goes against that old adage, and I apologize for any Rapid City fans listening, that East River is better than West River, just because generally that's kind of what it's looked like. Not so the case this season, it seems.
Yeah, this weekend, or tonight, really, Rapid City Schools doing a fantastic job of taking what the pollsters say are the two best teams and giving them a run for their money.
Absolutely, and I mean, considering that at least Rapid City Central was ranked by pretty much everybody as the second worst team in 11 AAA, showing that, well, maybe they should be up the ladder a little bit more, but we'll see. We're also joined here by Jeff Jones. He does stuff for the Lamb Catholic Radio. I can't remember what your exact... He's a volunteer, does a lot of stuff, much like myself, Michael Promus and Alex High, volunteer our time for Lamb Catholic Radio to keep everything kind of working in the background. And, well, you made the trip out here to visit some family, and here you are. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Michael. I left Sioux Falls this afternoon, and it was 91 degrees. And about every hour I lost 10 degrees. I think it was I lost 40 degrees by the time I got out here. But it was a great trip, a perfect night for football tonight, beautiful night. Nice win for the Knights. Wasn't easy, but it was a good win. And I really just want to take the time to let the listeners out there know that what you guys do is incredible. And it is all volunteer work. Alex, Michael, I know Erin's here someplace
she's
next door. We don't have anybody down on the sideline tonight, but Dan Johnson, who's not around this weekend, but he'll be around and has been around in the past. So all volunteers. So I certainly appreciate what you guys do. And then we've got Max back running the board, Jordan sometimes doing the same thing. So thank you so much for all you guys do, and we certainly appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you. And just to let the listeners know too that without you, without your support, we couldn't do what we're doing tonight. So kudos to you guys. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Mr. Johnson, Jones. You're
Jeff.
just Dan
Mr. Johnson.
I know, Mr. Johnson.
Jay.
Jeff, thank you for everything you do with the Lamb and helping kind of keep everything together and tell me what to do and all that. So
yeah,
a lot of good stuff.
Thanks for giving me the mic for a minute tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and maybe a good time to mention too, if you are interested in supporting Lamb Catholic Radio with your time, with your talents, with your treasure, money, feel free to contact us or go to our website, lambradio.com, contact us through there. Otherwise, you can Google our phone number. I don't remember it off the top of my head. My apologies. Give us a call and just say you'd like to help out and contribute, and we can help you out with that as well. So
absolutely.
Very good. Well, Mr. Johnson, thank you. Jones, oh my gosh. I'm so used to saying Mr. Jones with Dan Johnson, all that. It's the J names.
Not a problem.
Mr. Jeff
Not a problem.
Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you. Absolutely. We are going to step aside for 1 minute. When we come back, we will dub our Knights players of the game. We'll also have a quick scoreboard update, and then we have to get, back home to Sioux Falls. That's on the way right here on the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
Crossroads Book and Music is a local source for Catholic gifts and supplies. From rosaries and medals to books and Bibles, Crossroads is here with materials to help individuals in their walk with Christ. Crossroads also features a large line of personalized gifts that are great for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, or any special occasion. Crossroads Book and Music, 41st Street and Grange Avenue in Sioux Falls.
Big Rig Barbecue brings a Texas-style barbecue to South Dakota. They use a real wood smoker for all their meats every single day. Big Rig Barbecue serves sliced brisket, pulled pork, chicken, and ribs. They offer pre-orders for smaller events and gatherings and cater for large events including parties, meetings, and graduations. Big Rig Barbecue's new sit-down location is on the corner of 41st and Minnesota. Their website, bigrigbbbq.net. Big Rig Barbecue is proud to support the Sioux Falls Catholic Schools.
Welcome back into the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic here at O'Hara Stadium. The Knights with the 27-14 victory over the Rapid City Central Cobblers on a cold, blustery night that, ended up working for the O'Gorman fans. And we saw some great stuff from a lot of players from the OG side and from the Rapid City Central side. But we have to focus on the Knights players of the game coming up here right now, actually. And we actually didn't get a chance to fully talk about this, so this is going to be off the top of our heads because we were talking with Mr. Johnson / Jones in the booth. But I feel bad about that. I seriously know his name. I'm just tip of the tongue sensation or
Well,
something.
when you got the headphone on, you're used to saying Mr. Johnson.
I am. It's a psychological thing where it's a preset or something. But anyway, we need to come up with a night's offense and defensive player of the game. Let's start with the defense. We saw some great defensive play. I can come up with a number of players that really stood out to me. Who would you give it to, Mr. High?
Oh, it's really hard because it was really a unit performance tonight. Linebacking core looked good. Defensive line at times looked good. So I think it's going to be, and they got the most action. We didn't have much. The defensive backfield didn't have much action going on. So yeah, I think we heard Binstock, we heard Penn Johnson, we heard Aiden Thomas. Those names got called quite a bit. I don't know. What were you thinking?
I think. You're right. I mean, it's hard to say that this one player stood out the most defensively because they did a great job as an entire unit. But the guy that really stood out to me tonight were actually two guys I have to point out. Andrew Pujato, the kicker, who is filling in for Trey Jones, who was injured, tore his ACL, so he was not playing in this game. And Nick Billion also stepped up and played some great defensive back. And it sounds weird that we would give it to defensive backs considering how limited playing time that they received. I shouldn't say playing time, but action with the almost non-existent pass game, but they did a great job of sucking up on some of these plays and isolating on the outside, blocking off some of those long rushes and really preventing Central from breaking away on a lot of those. So I have to give it to both of those guys, to Nick Billion and to Andrew Pujato.
I think that's a great choice. Andrew Pujato stepping up for an injured guy. I think good football teams can do that. If you get an injury, next guy up, and it was Andrew Pujato, and again, Billion also had a nice game too. So I think that's a good co-defensive player of the game.
Absolutely. I tend to agree. It was my idea.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because I was at a loss. Because, again, it was very much a unit performance tonight.
Absolutely. And I think offensively, really the guy that those two guys that stand out to me, but I think Iman Legacy is my guy tonight. We saw some great catches from Max Tibbetts, from Canyon Bauer, some great passes and running from Isaac Struck, but to me, Iman Legacy stood out the most tonight.
Yeah, I was originally going to say Struck, just because Struck, again, had a Struck game.
Right.
But Iman Legacy could be a breakout performance for him. It could be a sign of more things to come from him. But the key contribution from Iman Legacy came late in the game.
Right.
When the Knights needed to ice the game and keep the ball out of the hands of that tricky Cobbler offense. So Iman Legacy, absolutely great choice.
Some great running, just kept his feet moving. I mean, textbook running back performance from Iman Legacy. Only danced maybe twice, but that's because there was a very good defense coming after him.
Absolutely.
So Iman Legacy, our O'Gorman Knights offensive player of the game. And, of course, we go back to defensive player of the game, Andrew Pujato and Nick Billion. We'll step aside for about a couple more minutes. When we come back, we'll take one more look at the scoreboard, and we'll get you ready for next week's game against Sioux Falls Roosevelt. That's on the way on the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic on the Lamb.
Dr. Beecroft and First Class Dental Care are proud supporters of Lamb Catholic Radio. First Class Dental Care offers restorative, cosmetic, and preventative techniques and is open late to fit busy schedules. Their aviation-themed office works to provide first-class services. Their number is 271-9330 and can be found online at firstclassdentalcare.com. Thank you to Dr. Beecroft and First Class Dental Care for your support of Lamb Catholic Radio.
Hear from there are danger signs that indicate pressure and tension on delicate, sensitive nerves due to spinal misalignment, such as headaches, back pain, numbness or tingling in the arms or legs, and joint pain in general. Dr. Mark Hagen is located at 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch. Call me at 361-OUCH.
Financial Benefits Company philosophy is to develop a secure retirement plan for our clients by striving to live up to the promise. Safe principal, positive return. John Fritsch can be reached at 605-334-8086. Financial Benefits Company is a proud sponsor of Lamb Catholic Radio.
One more time to O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City, South Dakota. The O'Gorman Knights coming away with the win over the Central Cobblers, 27-14, to move to 4-1 on the season. And I apologize, the only other score that I have is from the Washington Stevens game. And that is a 29-28 victory for Washington, just barely keeping Stevens at bay. Really, I mean, it could change up some things as far as the seeding points goes for Washington. They're still obviously top of the state, but interesting results there, and Central doing a great job against O'Gorman tonight as well, 27-14. So now O'Gorman with the 4-1 record will look forward to going back to Sioux Falls, back to their home stadium, taking on the Roosevelt Rough Riders, who, as of now, are ranked, as far as power points go, number 5, and they're ranked number 3 in the state based on the Sportscasters polls. And Mr. High, that will not be an easy game. I mean, Roosevelt's never an easy game for O'Gorman.
No, that 41st Street rivalry, I mean, you know, it's not like a O'Gorman-Washington sort of thing where the rivalry goes back decades. This is a really new school. I think 93? Was the first year Roosevelt was a school?
Possibly. I don't remember.
That sounds about that
I was
long.
barely alive.
So it doesn't have the tradition of the O'Gorman-Washington game. But back in the day of, when we were in high school, and even like when my brother 4 years older than me was in high school, it was a big rivalry between O'Gorman and Roosevelt.
Absolutely.
You never want to lose to Roosevelt.
And, I mean, Roosevelt's offense is so spread out. They go in a 2-point stance, and there's like 2 people. You can fit 2 people between, 2 players. But they're so big. And they're big, and, I mean, it's a totally different animal. In fact, one of their quarterbacks, I mean, just a tradition of winning, one of their quarterbacks, Taryn Christian, is actually the starting quarterback, has been up at SDSU for the past 3 years. And I got the opportunity to see him play in college and call some of his games. And an outstanding player. It just speaks to the level of talent that comes through Roosevelt. So that'll be a tough game. The Knights will take on the Roosevelt Rough Riders next week, September 29th. That's a Friday night. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. And, of course, you can hear that live here on Lamb Catholic Radio on our stations, 104.3 FM here in Sioux Falls, or on YouTube. Go search The Lamb Radio, and you can find all of our videos and our live stream and whatnot. Otherwise, go to lambradio.com. Listen to us live there. There's a link to go to YouTube. There's also a mobile app for Lamb Radio. Go to Google Play Store or the App Store, and you can find us there as well. You got options.
You got plenty of options. So if you're looking for O'Gorman night football action, you have no excuses. You've got plenty of ways you can find it.
Absolutely. We would be more than happy to provide that here. All right, Mr. High, anything else you have for us tonight?
No, I always enjoy these games. It's nice to be in the booth, especially on a really cold night. And I'm a little disappointed I won't be able to make it to the game next week, but Dan Johnson will be back. He'll do a great job, and Michael, of course, will always do his great job.
I'll be here. I'm contractually obligated.
Are you really?
No, I'm not. I didn't sign anything. I'm just nice, and I love doing this.
Yeah, again, we're volunteers, and again, our radio broadcast is thanks in part to your donations.
And your listenership and everything that you do for us. So that makes us happy to bring you these games like we do.
And we thank you for listening tonight. We only have 17 people now watching on YouTube, but thanks for sticking out.
Thanks for listening to us kind of tucker out those broadcasts and start rambling and all that.
You can tell that we're wrapping up and we're drawing at straws for things to talk about. So shout out to you 17 people.
Absolutely.
You are excellent.
You are excellent, and all of our listeners are excellent as well. So, okay, let's wrap this up. Here's my standard out cue. The O'Gorman Knights defeat the Rapid City Central Cobblers 27-14 to move to 4-1 on the season. Thank you so much for listening to tonight's broadcast. For myself, Michael Promas, for Alex I, for Aaron Shea, our statistician, for Max Curie back at the studio, and for our sports producer, Brett Byler, and for all of us here at Lamb Catholic Radio. Thank you so much for listening, and have yourself a fantastic night.
God bless.
From the Lamb Catholic Radio Network, this has been O'Gorman Knights Football. Today's game has been brought to you in part by
Catholic Family Services, Financial Benefits Company with John Fritch, Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade, Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota, the Barnes DeMoore Group, financial advisors at Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, Mini Critters, Jardine Construction, Barnett Vision Clinic, First Premier Bank Card, Sioux Equipment Company, Crossroads, Hagen Chiropractic Clinic, Sioux Falls Catholic Schools, Fair Tax Incorporated, McGuire Iron, Big Rick Barbecue, Knights of Columbus Field Agents Heath Dickelman and Jason Lures, and First Class Dental Care.
The preceding O'Gorman Nights activity has been a special presentation of the Lamb Catholic Radio Network.
You're listening.
All right, Mr. Carey, thank you so much. I really just wanted to listen to that because I never get to listen to that like live.
Okay.
So thanks for holding that for me. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. Did a fantastic job as always. Need anything from me? I think this is the part of the broadcast where Brett mentioned something about a time card. And I don't know what that means. I don't get money. So.
Also, I have to show you the original check that I wanted to send you.
That's all right. Good for you. Thank you. No, seriously, thanks for doing the board for these. All right, dude. Have a good weekend. Are you doing it next week? Okay. Well, if we see you then, we'll see you then. All right. See you, man. All right. Sit down. Here, help
Here, sorry. Your penis, that's so awkward. Did you say penis? I really hope the mics are off and we're not broadcasting. Okay.